What's happening, everybody? I'm Joe, and this is CapMMA.com. I'm going to go ahead and get tonight's show running. Our co-host running a little behind. Shout out to Dead Picks on our tech. I see Mike out there. He's probably watching the fight. He hasn't requested to get on the microphone yet, so I'm going to get things moving. I got Dana White Contender Series going. I won't break anything down or detour the show with that. Couple nice finishes so far. Um, Dead picks. You got any bets on Dana White's Contender Series?
No, sir.
Yeah, I don't have anything out there right now either. Between working on the studio and doing the shows on Tuesdays right now, I just I haven't had any time. I'm sure Mike's got some plays. I'll see how he did whenever he can get on the mic here. Um, a little bit of throwback, or not throwback, but look back at this weekend. I do a review a little bit different. Usman does Cash or Trash, where he talks about all the betting and all the odds and all the money that you could have made, should have made, didn't made, or didn't make, or did make. But I like to look at what they said at the post-fight presser, what they said to TMZ afterwards, what MMA fighting reported about him. Little bit different of an angle. I do like to talk about some of the controversies. We talked Sunday night about Tisha Torres and Carla Esparza. I don't really want to break the fight down. That was just the first one of the night that kind of put everybody's antennas up. And then from there were a couple of more, I guess you would call them questionable decisions. The one I think that stands out the most is probably the Jose Aldo decision, losing to Mario Batista. Tough, tough win for Batista. It was a close fight, and social media is absolutely split about it. Sean O'Malley and his coach, is it Tim Welch? I always screw up him and Eric Nixick for whatever reason. Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch said that they were catching a lot of shit for defending the win online, and it seems like everybody's just mad that Aldo didn't win. I'm one of those guys too, but I do want to say that Batista, he's got bills. He's got reasons to win, and I think he's catching a little bit of a raw deal on that one. Ovens St. Preux, I am pretty positive he fought his contract out Saturday night. I don't see any. It's tough. He's a little bit up there in age. He's no spring chicken to say the least. 41 years old. A lot of fights, a lot of losses. 27-18 isn't, a flattering record. I don't know if OSP is done or not. I don't know his financial situation. I don't know anything about his personal life, to be honest. But I don't think we ever see OSP in the UFC again. I don't think that that's going to be a thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him fight at all. There was a day where OSP was good for the division. I was even glad to see him. Not glad, but I was fine with having him there. I will say this: when I felt like he was the lower half of the division, um, back in the day, I felt like the division was much more stacked. OSP in his prime probably ranks quite higher in this light heavyweight division. If I'm just trying to be fair to the guy. Mike, nice to see you grab a microphone. Anytime you want to get on, brother, go ahead. Um, Anyways, back to OSP. I don't know. I think that a young OSP would have fared much better in today's MMA than he did in his generation. He murderers row of fighters in the generation that he was fighting. Mike, get after it.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think the roster tracker already showed that he got released.
Yeah, sometimes that just happens if they fall out of the top 15. I didn't go look to see. I don't know if he was in the top 15 or not. I didn't go to verify any of that. I did read that his contract was up. So Um, I assume that they know the same thing I know. I don't think I'm privy to any information. So yeah, I would assume that they removed him because he was released. Not released, but just not re-signed. I think if we see him go anywhere, it should be one of the less combative sports. I really like to see the guys go to the kind of the one-dimensional stuff, but not boxing. Maybe not one-dimensional. That's not fair. But I like when they go over to karate combat. I like when they do the BKFC. I'll be totally happy to see MMA fighters start going over to power slap. Fuck, I might even start watching. I like MMA fighters. I think if they could go take a couple slaps to the faces, post-fight career, and not get dropped real hard, maybe post-fight you get dropped once in power slap. That was it for you. But no reason to see, it's not a place that some of the guys could go, especially in the lower weight divisions. I don't know how much of the lower weight classes the power slap league will get into, but I feel like the, if they do the lower weight classes, it would be a great place for people to land. So not necessarily power slap, but maybe power slap. I wouldn't mind seeing OSP get over there. Kevin Holland, corner, called his fight between the first and second round. I haven't seen any reports about what actually happened with his rib. He was walking around on video, visibly holding it after. I wish Kevin the best. Rib injuries can be very serious, can make it very hard to breathe. I don't doubt that Kevin was telling the truth or being honest, but kind of a shitty way for the fight to end if I'm calling it what it is. But I bring Kevin up because Kevin made some comments about fighter pay also during fight week, and he said he comes from a working family, and people who are bitching about fighter pay, he said, you don't fight enough. You don't know what it means to have to get up and do the work, to go to work. And remember, I wasn't the bum. Just implying that win, lose, he doesn't care. His job is to fight. He just wants to get in there and fight. I think Kevin's got the right attitude. I think a lot more fighters, if they were that way, I think we'd see a lot more fighters fight a lot more often. I think the UFC would need probably 100 less fighters on their roster if everybody just took whatever fight the UFC threw at them. Yeah, maybe turn down one here or there, but if they just took everything they should, I feel like, I feel like the UFC could cut their roster substantially, if I'm being honest. I see there was a video of Walking Buckley and Kevin Holland shaking hands, complimenting each other after the fights. Rolling over to Walking Buckley, he was able to, I guess, squash some beef with DC leading up to the fight or during fight week. It was kind of an awkward interview where Buckley tried to say how we feel and have a conversation, and DC just tried to say, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. And kind of like dad him or big brother him. And from the body language, felt like Buckley just doesn't want to make it an issue. Not like he's afraid, just like it's petty shit. So he just let the old guy be the old guy in Babylon. I mean, shit. I'm the old guy now, so sometimes you just gotta let us babble on. But the body language just felt like Buckley was kind of big brother, little brother, fuck it, let him have it type situation. But Buckley is trying to figure out how to stay relevant and stay in the media's eye and not be the complete bad guy. I give him his credit. I think Walking's got, I don't know, I think he's got a little bit of a tough road ahead of him. He tries pretty hard, but he's got to try. It seems like guys like AP don't have to try. And, Buckley wants to be that star. Everybody wants to be that star, but he just, I don't want to say he don't have it. I don't want to cut him down. But, I just, whatever. I think he struggles with it a little more than some others might. Kayla Harrison fight. Kayla Harrison wins her fight. Took some lumping up. Looked very hittable. Um, Revealed to TMZ Sports after the fight that she was hospitalized a week before the fight, pissing blood. Weight cuts whipping her ass, I guess. I don't know, but I do know that that's not healthy. Um, Not healthy at all. Actually makes me think that maybe we see Kayla not fight for the 135-pound title. And maybe we see Amanda Nunes return at 145 and fight Kayla. Not sure if any of you guys seen Amanda Nunes post on, I think it was IG, but I seen it posted over on Twitter, where she's dancing in her Tough uniform to a Brazilian song. I don't know. I can't speak the language, but the translation says that she changed the words in the song to Dana White, I miss you, Dana White, call me. Um, she looked fucking jacked too. She looked big for Amanda Nunes big. She looked fucking huge. Like there's just no way around it. Amanda Nunes looked huge. Shoulders, at least in the video, shoulders look bigger than Kayla Harrison's shoulders. She looked filled out pretty well. I don't know. I don't know where that division plays out. I'm pretty excited. I'll be honest. It's the first time I've been somewhat excited about the women's divisions probably since Amanda fucking retired. But I am. I'm excited about it. I'm curious to see if Amanda lets Juliana fight Kayla and then returns. If Amanda tries to slide in and take the Juliana fight before the Kayla fight. If Amanda tries to take the Kayla fight without taking the Juliana fight. A lot of options there. 135, 145 could be a topic of discussion, especially if Kayla was hospitalized for urinating blood a week, a week before camp or a week before fights. I assume as big as Kayla is that the weight cutting starts more than 7 days out. I'm making some assumptions there. Maybe they're not cutting in the sense of sweating it out, cutting it out, but I would assume that Kayla starts losing weight sometime before a week out. I don't know if she just had something in her body shutting down. I didn't. There's no medical information that I could find on it. At least not when I wrote the show earlier today. Um, but I just think that it opens up a lot of possibilities. And if they're gonna fight at 145, man, I would think that ends up leaving Kayla kind of out in the dust because there's no one left at 145. They dissolved it. So Kayla becomes the 145-pound champion and has the Chris Cyborg problem, I guess, where there's nobody to go up and fight her. Maybe they think maybe they let her fight Amanda at 145 and hold a quote unquote belt and then fight Juliana if she beats her. I don't know, but I am excited. Very, very curious to see where it goes. And the funniest thing to me would be if Amanda wants to fight Juliana first. And just, I don't know. It would just kind of crack me up. Like, it's so weird that she wants to come back right now. And weird because Juliana called her out, but Kayla's the fight to make. And then Amanda says, call me. I don't know. Very curious to see what she has going on. Mike, I seen that there was another finish on the Contender Series. That's 3 tonight. Did you cash on any of them knockouts?
Hey man, that parlay hit, man. That parlay I shared it hit.
Nice. What were the odds on it?
I think it was like I forgot. I think it was like a plus one something. I put 200 on it.
Very nice, very nice. I need to start tailing those. I just, man, I get so busy. I look at it.
I know I've been on fire, man. I can't remember the last one I lost.
Oh shit! Don't say that. Don't say that, Vinny. What's happening, Mike? Bud, get on the mic.
What's up, Joe? How you doing, brother? Yeah, man, those fucking contender series parlays are hitting all the favorites. Second week in a row.
Yeah, I mean it is a show designed where the favorite should win the majority
Yeah,
of the time.
yeah. What do you call it? They don't pay a lot because they're all like plus 600s. Well, there's some on plus 600s and plus 400s, but I mean, $90 in your pocket is nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, $100 is $100. Ain't no way around that. You
You got to catch them early. These minus 600s were only like now. They started off at like -3 or -5, except the main event guy. I think he opened at like a -5 or 6.
main event's next, correct?
Yeah, it is. I got one last parlay on that guy too because he's good.
Nice, nice. Everything's still lined up. Same parlay. You're just riding on him.
Yeah, it was the same parlay. I just added one more and I put just a little bit on it just to get a little bit more.
Yeah, I've done that shit before. I know how it goes. What do they call it? Stepping the parlay.
I'm up either way if you hit tonight.
Um, back to some topics here. Let's see what I got. Kind of losing my place a little bit. Oh, I want to know. Amanda was wearing her tough uniform, which makes me wonder if Amanda was implying that it would be Juliana, or if Amanda was implying that she wanted to coach against Kayla. I think Amanda coaching against Kayla would actually be a pretty big season. I think that it would probably be the top rated tough season in quite a few seasons if I had to make a guess. I went back and power watched this last one in like 3 sessions. Yeah, and I was kind of on my phone and shit, not super duper interested if I'm being honest. I just felt like I needed to get the episodes in so that I could say I did. Yeah, I think that one would definitely sell. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I think that would be a good one. And then both having been an American top team, there's some history. Also gives Amanda a little time to size Kayla up where she's at, maybe spy on her a little bit. I'm joking, but I'm not. All right, Saturday, AP broke Ronda Rousey's record for shortest time 3 title defenses. Ronda Rousey had defended her title 3 times in 189 days. I did not note down the cards. I guess I could have. Um, AP just did it in 175 days. He had the opportunity to break her 2 title defense record and then had to pull out of or whatever card he couldn't get on 301. Um, he tried to do that where he turned around right away and defended it again, but because of I think his toe, he couldn't. But congratulations to him. It was Yuri Jamal and Khalil. I don't know, pretty sweet. I think AP is super overlooked in the pound for pound discussion. I see everybody bitching and complaining about John Jones this, John Jones isn't, John Jones is, and nobody even talks about AP. If it's not John inside the UFC right now, it's got to be AP. It's absolutely ridiculous to me that I hear everybody talking about Islam. I've heard people talking about Ilya Bilal. I just like none of them guys are even close to where AP's at right now. You can say, "Oh, we haven't seen him do this or we haven't seen him do that." So fucking what? We haven't seen it happen to him either. So um, I think if it's not John, it's AP right now for sure. Um, AP revealed at the post-fight press conference that He, leading up to the fight, he had fevers, sore throat, did a double round of antibiotics, injured a rib, had trouble passports, and that his toe was either re-injured or not all the way healed. Could maybe explain why he looked a little frustrated, like he didn't feel like he could get going. And then when he finally did, I mean, man, he took Khalil apart so bad it was saddening. It was like you were Rocky Balboaing the end of Rocky 4. He was winning round 1, won round 2, round 3 was close. Even if you weren't rooting for Khalil at that point, you had to be feeling like, oh man, he's gonna do it. And then AP just absolutely takes him apart. Like mechanically. It was very impressive. But then AP, says he'll go up or whatever afterwards, but he calls out DDP. Irritated the shit out of me. I couldn't make any sense of it. And then earlier today, maybe AP wants to go down to 185 one last time and fight DDP so that he can go up to heavyweight right after and try to be a triple champion. A concurrent 3-belt triple champion. Even if he can't defend them all, he would be the only person to do it. And it would be uber fucking impressive. I don't care what generation of fighters you are in. If you can do that shit in the UFC, you got to be in talks for the GOAT. Serious talks for being the greatest of all time. I'm not saying that that's his plan, but I am saying that he posted a picture today with the caption. I think his caption was my favorite moment before the fight. And it's AP getting his hands looked at by the cut man before you get into the cage. And he's completely blurred out. Everything, the background, everything around is blurred, like blurry vision, blurred out, and plain as day as Tom Aspinall staring at him, implying that he would like to fight Tom Aspinall. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to let him drop down. I think DDP's fighting in February, and I think he's fighting Robert Whitaker or Sean Strickland. But I think that that's the appeal for AP to go down, is to grab the belt from DDP and then try to go up and become a triple champion. Yeah, definitely what I think his intentions would be by going down. I don't think that it's a great idea. I think he's filling in at 205 really well. Trying to cut down to go all the way back up to heavyweight would seem a little extreme, I guess is the word that I will use for that. John Jones posted a photo of himself and his quote body transformation. I say quote because of all the people who were commenting. He didn't call it a body transformation, but John Jones looks fucking jacked with a six pack. He's huge. He's huge. Um,
Can't wait to see him, man. Can't wait to see him on New York.
yeah, I'm excited to see him too. I'll be honest. I really hope Stipe doesn't look like the return of Chuck Liddell. I hope Stipe looks good. And it's not because I want John to get credit, because, like, if we got to wait, if the division is stalled, I know I'm a John Jones defender and all of that shit. But if the division is stalled and nothing's going nowhere,
I
I hope
do you know who the backup is for Stipe or that fight?
Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're gonna pull the rug and they're gonna put Tam Aspinall on that fight. I don't think Stipe is gonna end up fighting him. I think Tam Aspinall is gonna end up fighting him, and I hope he does because I want John Jones to shut his mouth off already.
Um, yeah, I guess I would like to see that online rant or fandom, not silent. I would just like to see it end. It's an argument that has got. I don't even care anymore. I don't even care if Tom and John ever fight anymore. It has been talked to by me as well. I blame myself. I think I was one of the first guys talking about it like a jackass. But yeah, I don't want to see it anymore. I don't care. And the only reason I don't want to see it anymore is because I don't want to have to see promos about it. I don't want to have to read about it more. I don't want to
but
have to.
but you do want to see it, right? You want to see this fight because I want to see this fight.
Sure. If that would be the perfect situation for that fight, in my opinion. Stipe pulls out with a broken toe, and
Yeah, you know
Tom steps in.
that's what's gonna happen. I can tell. I mean, how long do we have already? 3 more months because this is at the end of January. I mean, February. I mean, fucking December, right? The
No,
last.
it's in November.
Oh, it's in November, so a couple more weeks.
Yeah,
Well, I hope it happens, man, because I don't. I want
less
Jones
than
to get
45 days.
okay. I hope it happens.
Well,
When they announced that, I had that feeling.
the only reason I'm gonna give you a little steam there is because has anybody seen Stipe
Yeah,
at
that's what I'm
all?
saying. Now you haven't seen him. I haven't heard anything from him.
He's
No,
Conor McGregor. He's Conor
yeah,
McGregor gone right now. He just like Conor leading up to that last fight announcement with Michael Chandler. He's nowhere to be found.
nothing. Not a word. It was 45 days, like you said. That's right around the corner. You should be hearing something from him.
Not a social media post, not a promo, nothing. The UFC's not making him do nothing. There's fucking nothing.
That's
So
fucking Dana White for you, man. Mr. White,
I
where are you?
I will say this. For me, it would be if John and Tom are gonna fight, which I don't care. I'm fine with it. I don't give a shit. Um, that would be the perfect storm for me. That Stipe pulls out and it goes to Tom. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah, that's all I can say. Who knows? Who knows? Terrence Crawford says that Turkey Al Sheikh, I may say Al Sheikh a little wrong, recently offered him a 2-fight deal with Conor McGregor, where he was put on the phone with Conor McGregor by Turkey to negotiate the terms. And him and Conor were going back and forth trying to come to terms. But the deal had to be that it would be one fight in boxing followed by a fight in MMA. And Terrence Crawford, credit to him, was honest and said he wasn't going to do it. He said, I'm not letting that man kick me in the head. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Made it sound like there was not even, it wasn't even a talk of grappling. I don't want to say he didn't imply that they made a no grappling clause, but he only mentioned the kicks and he mentioned them a couple times. So I would feel like maybe Conor tried to say, okay, well, in the second fight, no takedowns, no wrestling or something. Not that Conor would probably try to do that anyway, but maybe he was trying to talk him into it. The most important thing to hear there is Turkey El Sheikh put Conor McGregor and Terrence Crawford on the phone together last week and said, see if you can negotiate a 2-fight deal. Anybody realize that Conor's still under UFC contract, right? Which means that part of the reason that Conor's contract may be getting stalled is because the UFC was entertaining the idea of letting Conor box, bridging the gap through Turkey. Dana is getting into boxing. It makes TKO a shit ton of money because it seems like they're struggling to do that right now. Um, yeah, none of the press is covering it that way.
That's
I
it.
don't. Go ahead.
The last fight just went through knockout.
Did it? I'm at 40 seconds left in the round. Is it a knockout?
Knocked out by that guy in the blue shorts. I don't know his name.
Oh, there it goes. Very nice. Very nice. Mike, was that the side you were on there?
That was the side I was on, man. I'm up. I'm up even more than I cared for, man. I won it every Tuesday, man. I'm on fire. I'm on fire every Tuesday. Y'all need to tell my next week's picks.
All favorites, man. Last 2 weeks. Remember that. Last 2 weeks, all favorites. I'm pretty sure they're gonna start changing it. Now they're gonna listen to our shit, but I'm pretty sure.
It's not that doesn't always happen, but this week was definitely like, yeah, all the favorites, all the ones that started off small favorites and got jacked up. There's a reason for that because there was no way the underdog was gonna win, especially this one. This guy was way too wild, coming up against a high level kickboxer. It was the writing was on the wall who was gonna win that one.
Yeah, I like it. All favorites. I'm gonna do all
Uh,
favorites until they change it.
Mike, consider. I know you always give us your Dana White plays in the team group, and I really like. I sincerely think it's awesome, but maybe consider putting it in the big group. Let some of these other guys tail it. You've been doing well on Tuesday night. It's not like you're leading them astray. It seems like a legit tail, and between you and Trace, these past I don't know few weeks or this past month or yeah, I guess I'd say probably the past 4 weeks. I don't know how many units you guys are up, but it sure does seem like it's a fuck ton between the two of you. Um, yeah,
Yeah, Trace is the. I pick winners. Trace picks like really smart bets that can hit, which I got to give it to him. He kills it too.
yeah, I know he does. I know he does, and he don't ever say nothing about it. Even if you're like, "Oh, Trace, good job," he's just like, "Yep," and keeps it fucking pushing. He won't. He don't even acknowledge it. But yeah, you guys fucking murder it. And it's not talking bad about any of these other shows that are specifically hosting for bets, but a lot of these guys are you losing units hand over fucking fist, and people are piling in to hear their picks, and I just can't make sense of it, man. I know there's a lot of sharp guys out there. I'm not saying you're the only two that are. I can't make sense of some of it sometimes. Whatever. I don't need to throw anybody particular under the bus. I got hot topics galore out here. Conor McGregor is under investigation for, I guess, breaking and entering, possibly, but not really. So he went to an Arsenal Premier League soccer game, and after the game, he snuck down on the pitch and was playing with. So what were my notes here? After Arsenal beat the French champions 2-0, Conor McGregor made his way down onto the field and entered the pitch. He playfully kicked the ball with Delkin Rice and Bakoy Saka. I'm sure I said their names wrong, guys, but I tried my sincere hardest.
Look, I know
This
Themba Gorimbo when I see him, okay? That was Themba Gorimbo.
Then he threw some leg kicks. The one guy had to say to seemed to motion to like calm down a little bit, but Connor was just nonchalant about it playing. Arsenal fans were pissed, feeling that Saka's, he could have hurt Saka's legs. Connor thinks he's big shit, but the value on a soccer player's legs, there's soccer players' leg, one single leg that is worth more than Conor McGregor's entire life per season. Not many of them, but there's definitely a couple of them. Conor doesn't respect any of that shit. The club released a press release or a statement saying that they were looking into the incident, that he was not authorized for access. He should not have been there, that they will come up with new protocols for match day, and they will revise club rules, I'm assuming, the way they maybe supervise celebrities or celebrity likes types in the in like the VIP area and what they have access to maybe. And it is clear that Arsenal has been distancing themselves from Conor McGregor due to recent controversies. There was a whole bunch of little stories that I seen, and I didn't steal that statement from an article, but that's not my original thought. I did read some other articles that made it clear that Arsenal is distancing themselves to Conor McGregor due to, like I said, recent controversy. So I don't know, whatever. Every time we see Conor, it seems like it's some more bullshit and some more bullshit and some more bullshit. That man never fights again, in my opinion. Whatever. I think he's good for the sport. Lots of eyes turn, but I just don't think I don't think we ever see him fight again. Jacob at JT_lines posted what I'm going to call some fun facts. Mike Bell was a part of 3 split decisions on the card last night. He scored those fights 29-28, Lucindo, only judge to give Lucindo round 1. 29-28, Batista, 48-47, Pena. I think I have this one bookmarked here. I'm going to scroll really quick to see if I did keep it. I guess I did not keep that. Oh, yeah. Yes, I did. He said last year he took some time. Twitter is real funny sometimes. Last year he took some time away from judging to get his mind right after the 10-8 score for Alex versus Chave. I don't know how to say that last name. We have a judge judging fights that took time away from fights because he realized he didn't know what he was doing. Now he's back, costing these athletes their careers. I would say that it is worth note if he is the guy who scored all of those fights like that. But I didn't look at the cards. If I'm being fair, I didn't look at the cards throughout the night to see if any other judges were on some funny ends of some other fights. Trace, I see the hand up, bud. Get after it. Nice to have you on the mic. How'd you do on Dana White's Contender Series also?
I didn't really bet it that much. I completely forgot why I put my hand up. So, yeah, back to you, brother.
All right, no problem. I was talking about the Mike Bell 3 scorecards, if that rings any
Oh,
bells.
yeah, that's what it was. I was gonna say, it sounds to me like Mike Bell picks winners, buddy.
Yeah, I wish I could tail his picks.
Yeah. I wish I could befriend him and find out where he was thinking these fights were probably gonna go a little bit before time, because I know we both know that he's gonna be the deciding factor, whether he's
every
truthful or corrupt. He's gonna be the one that decides.
every fucking time. Trying to redefine judging all on his own. Whatever. I don't got no problems with Mike Bell, as an individual. Throw one out here. I got the bookmarks. Charles Energy Johnson says he is promoting my first event in November. If you're in the Midwest, pop out. It's Icon Battlegrounds in Gateway City. Philip Rowe versus Kevin Lee. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, slap fighting, pillow fighting, Strength 100 competition. Tickets available. St. Louis, Missouri, November 9th. If there's a way for me to tune in, I like Energy. If he's really going to give me a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu match, a slap fight match, a pillow fight match, a Strength 100 competition all in one night, fuck it. I'll figure out how to watch. I'll figure out how to watch. Usman, nice to have you on the mic, bud. Get after it.
Yeah, no, I put my hand up for the whole Mike Bell situation. Um, and like, so I know everybody was complaining about the decisions on Saturday night, but it's like those that he highlighted, I don't even think were the biggest issues. I think the biggest issues were one that he didn't do, the 30-27 Tisha Torres, where Carla obviously won round one. As somebody who had a Marina bet, I would have liked for her to win, but I mean it was a close fight. It was a close round. You could go either way. Um, and then the other one was Austin Hubbard 30-27. Like those were the ones that were the biggest issues that everybody was crying about, and those had nothing to do with Mike Bell. So I understand he was all over Rocky Pennington, and everybody wants to call it a robbery when it wasn't. But I really don't see the issue with Mike Bell and those cards, as opposed to the Austin Hubbard card and the Tisha Torres card.
I have to agree, especially with the Tisha Torres card. And you know what kind of stumbled me when I brought this up, as I was trying to think back. We take so much of this stuff in. Sometimes it's hard to, at least for me. Hey, you guys call me the old man all the time. It's hard for me to navigate through what was what. I've watched thousands of fights, thousands, literally, fucking thousands. I just can't remember every fight. Usually, when you bring one up, I'm like, oh, yeah, right away. I remember it. Sometimes I just got to go look at two dudes' pictures and be like, yep, yep, I remember it. Um, you just, you can't always store them. But I know there have been nights where Sal D'Amato, who I really do think gets some wrong, but I really do think is the best judge in MMA. I know there's been some nights where he has been the deciding vote on a couple fights, and people have given him shit. And I agreed with Saul in those ones. So even though I'm not necessarily a guy who's like, oh, Mike Bell is a great referee, I'll be honest. It seems like he's consistent. It seems like, if nothing else, he's consistent. So I can't ask more from a referee than to be consistent. If I want them all to be the same, we can just put some AI sensors on the fucking ring and let the AI count up the strikes and count up the control time and tell us who won. We can just get rid of the fucking judges. I don't want them all to score the fights the same. I just want each of them to be consistent. So I give Mike big props on this one. Big props. Speaking of Mike, our Mike, better times, get after it, bud.
Yeah, I give the mic no props. No, man, that was the judging on that card was really ridiculous. And Usman told me to rewatch that fight on Pena and Pennington. Look, I'm sorry, Pennington won that fight. The first round especially. That was her all the way. And I think, look, normally I agree with you. Sal D'Amato, in my opinion, is one of the best judges because I pay attention to what he judged all the time. And when he said Jose Aldo won, I was a little bit mad because I thought I was about to lose money. But he got that wrong too. Look, I told y'all, Aldo is my favorite fighter. So I know what's gonna happen when he fights a certain opponent. I knew Batista was gonna be able to use the grappling to make Aldo work. And if you make Aldo work, he's gonna gas. He didn't really gas, but you did see him slow down, which allowed Mario Batista to control him even more, which is why he won the fight. So, yeah, man, the judging on that card was just so ridiculous. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, well, and I think some of it is when you get judges that are very consistent in how they score fights. Sal is a great example. And you get a couple of them that are different on the same card. This is what you're going to get. I don't know. The only one I really, really, really thought was egregious was the 30-27. in the women's fight, the Tisha Torres fight, Tisha Pennington fight. That was the only one that I thought was like, man, that's fucking ridiculous. So whatever. I'll move on from that. I'm doing these through the bookmarks, the new YouTube platform. I'm trying to warm up some things for that, so might be a little rocky today, but there's a reason for that one.
You
We're
know,
getting
it's
some.
pretty funny. It's pretty funny that Dana White hates Magomed Ankalaev. You know, it's
Mhm.
pretty clear for him just to go out and sign a guy off a Dana White Contender Series, who's basically just a lesser version of him in the main event. Like that dude fights pretty similar to Ankalaev. Doesn't really seem like he has a lot of KO power. I think that guy, the other guy, just wasn't very tested. Was pretty soft, but I feel like he's going to be a very similar fighting style to Ankalaev for Dana White to be super excited about him coming into the UFC.
Eh,
Would you agree? Would you agree, Mike?
Yeah, that made me laugh. Uncle Live. It really does seem like they just don't want him anywhere near the belt.
I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
think it's.
it's personality, man. You got to have a personality this day and age, or you're not going to sell. Like I feel like even for a Russian guy, he's pretty still.
I think they'd be more apt to let him champ up. That's the word I'll use, champ up. Um, if they didn't already have two grappling heavy male champions. Just being honest. I think that plays a lot. I think the UFC really looks at like we got to stack pay-per-views, and right now we've got Merab and Bilal, who I'm not saying they have no star power. I'm not saying they're not great fighters. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is, if you were a gambling man and they put an ohms meter in a decibel reader in the middle of that arena, and you had to bet whether or not it would break high decibels when Bilal Muhammad fights, meaning an actual measure of how exciting it is, you wouldn't take that bet. You wouldn't take it when Merab fights either. The money would be on the fact that that decimal, whatever the over under on that decibel is, you would bet the under because I would too. Doesn't mean they're not great fighters. All I'm getting at is the UFC ticket sale problems, pay per view sale problems. Yeah, I just think they look at Ankalaev as a weight right now because they're already carrying two guys that aren't exciting fighters. Fortunately, Bilal is active on social media, like him or not, whatever, but he's active. And Merab is very active and seems to be very liked. So I think that's the silver lining for them. I think it was Trace who just said he doesn't have the personality. So it's not gonna stick. It's not gonna resonate with what the UFC wants to do. Um, all right. Aline Perez is definitely managing to make fucking headlines. Okay, fine. But it appears she really got banned from fighting in Paris. Wasn't sure if that was true or not. But it appears she really got banned from fighting in Paris.
For twerking.
Yeah, for twerking in that chick's face.
It's so stupid. But I can't stand. I can't stand her. But oh my god, it's so stupid.
Bro, that's just the French people though, man. Like
I was
my
about to
wife,
say, I was
my
about to say, Trace, only the French.
yeah, my wife has went there on vacation, and she said it's one of the worst places she's ever vacationed at. She said they're just rude people over there. So like, who fucking cares, man? Like, oh well, the French don't want you there. Boo hoo.
Yeah, I don't think everybody, not everybody, but a couple fighters bitched about the taxes, bitched about the way they blood tested them right after weigh-ins.
Oh
Fuck
yeah, look,
France.
it sounded like there was even corrupt, like you said, even there was corruption going on with like only the fighters in the co-main, the Americans or the not the countrymen of France were stuck by needles where the Frenchmen didn't have to. Like that's just crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah, it was a little fucking ridiculous.
That's some Russian Olympic shit.
Wait, so does that mean that stuff about Brian Battle is true too?
I can't figure out, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that the $250,000 fine shit is false, but them wanting to fine him, and them saying that they don't want him to fight there anymore, I believe that that is indeed true.
And the Brazilian guy too. What's his name? Mikado.
Oh, I didn't hear about that one.
I thought Marcano was respectful though.
Yeah, but he beat
Yeah,
Benoit.
but he didn't. He wasn't. I don't think he got banned. But the other two did. They can't. They doesn't seem like they can fight there anymore. And Battle was out in the streets having a lot of fun with the people. So little weird. Cody Garbrandt is set to fight out his contract next month when he fights Miles Johns in a. They're gonna headline UFC Fight Night 247. Says he hopes to resign, but money talks was his exact words. I don't know if Cody's feeling big britches because he's got a money fight offer for one fight somewhere, but sure, money talks, Cody. Um,
Sounds like he's about to get released.
BKFC, bitch. BKFC. Oh, all right.
Wait. Cody Garbrandt versus Jeremy Stevens at BKFC bangs.
Winner calls out Conor McGregor. Swear to God. You know, Connor's already said he would fight Jeremy in BKFC. Fucking ridiculous. All right, it's not letting Diaz on the mic over there, so I don't know what to say. Whatever. What else do we got here? So Sean O'Malley says he wants to return to the cage as soon as possible. March. He says April, May, June. June will be the latest. I think I can be back before that. March maybe would be crazy. Um, yeah, okay, sure. Um, I
He
don't see a
tweeted
reason.
he tweeted earlier today that if Umar and Marab don't fight by December, that it's him versus Marab in
Marab and
March.
March suck my sack if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen it. I got it bookmarked right here while you were saying it. I think Sean will. Man, I know people are not going to be happy about this. I think Sean will get whatever he wants. So if Umar wants to fight Marab, I think he probably needs to get it out of the way now because I think otherwise Sean slides back in there. I don't think there's a way around it. Again, the UFC is not selling like they used to, or did previously. I've got some comments on that shortly here, but they're not selling those pay-per-views. So, or the tickets seemingly. Did all of you guys hear Sketch? This I didn't even know who Sketch was. He's a streamer. Did all you guys hear Sketch talking shit to O'Malley when they were playing Madden? Talking about you got Marab's dick in your mouth, and at least I have an unbroken record and all this other shit. I seen a highlight of all the shit the kid was talking. I was fucking dying. I don't know who Sketch is, and I'm not gonna watch other people play video games, but fuck, good for him.
Joe,
My
you're
bad.
muted.
Yeah, my bad. My bad, guys. John Jones is training with Gable Stevenson and almost fucking smoked him with a knee today. Did you guys see that shit? They were going through the motions, through the tumbles, and John's just going through like a training routine, and Gable wasn't prepared. And John does a little bit of a flying knee that that almost caught him. I thought it would have been funny. Whatever, whatever. Yeah, John's definitely training with some big guys. That's what I'll say. Gable is he's a thick body to move around. He is a big man. He's got massive legs. Uh, yeah, I don't think that John is going to have a problem with anybody at heavyweight moving them around. I think it's just going to be the thing that we've always said: can a heavyweight clip him? Usman.
So if I am correct, Stevenson is the Olympic wrestler, right? Who did not want to go to the MMA, tried his hand at WWE, couldn't make it there, and then I believe tried to go to the NFL, couldn't make it there. So now he's training with John. Are we getting an Olympic wrestler in the UFC soon?
Nah, I think he's too old and too big. I think he's too big. I think he used to wrestle near 300 pounds. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure of that. Zabets, nice to see you grab a mic, bud. Get after it.
Yo, what's good, Joe? What's good, everybody else? Yeah, that I seen that clip of John Jones training with that dude, that wrestler dude. Yo, he's actually pretty good. Like, if he took MMA serious, I think he'll be a real problem. He was taking John Jones no issues.
I mean, he's supposed.
So that he
He's
wrestled at 255, Joe. So honestly, it would be his wrestling weight.
he wrestled at 255. You said.
65 is the cutoff for I believe for wrestling as well.
Gotcha. He's only 24. I thought he was a little older than that. That must be that. Who is it? Gordon Ryan? Maybe he's a little bit older. I can't fucking remember.
There's not that many heavyweight wrestlers right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, if he could put it together and like just enough to make sure he can always ensure a takedown, which I mean you can't always ensure that, but enough competence on the feet to where he can maintain there until he's able to get the takedown. Yeah, he could probably run through that division. Really, I mean, if you're a dominant anything in that position, in that weight class, you have a good chance of going pretty far in it.
Are you implying that a one-trick pony could ride their way all the way to the top of the
Oh,
UFC
100%.
heavyweight division?
I'm a 100% believer
And
that women's MMA and heavyweights are technique wise pretty much on par with each other.
I push back and give you
yeah, it's
Exhibit
funny.
A, Robelis de Spagna, Waldo.
Well, I think he means with wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. Any type of grappling, one trick pony in grappling. If you're really, really good at something, you're gonna see success. Yuri Prohaska posted some footage of himself training in Japan on IG. Ali Abdelaziz said while swimming in Florida, he almost drowned, but Ottoman Azatar saved him. Fuck you, Azatar Ottoman. Ottoman Azatar, fuck your name. I don't care about you. Should have let Ali go. He's a prick, piece of shit. Whatever. I said what I said. Fuck him. Paige Van Zant will make her power slap return at UFC 308 weekend. At the Space 42 Arena in Abu Dhabi on October 24th. Um, it's not a UFC event, but it is a UFC event. It's
Hey,
not
who is she slapping against?
Chelsea Dodson, which is John Dodson's wife.
Yeah. I just remember it being somebody's wife.
Yeah, John Dotson's wife. So, um, I don't know, whatever. I ain't got no problem with power slap. I need them to pace it much, much faster and just make it a caveat or something we can catch on Friday night, when there's fights or something like that. I got no problem with it, but I need to see ten slap fights in 2 hours. I need the whole card. I eight would be fine. but I need 8 slap fights in 2 hours. Or if it's 5, I need it in like an hour and 15 minutes. I need it much, much faster than they want to give it to us. Um, yeah, whatever it is, sponsorship, ownership, commercials, whatever the fuck, figure it out. You cannot keep my attention for something that happens in 20 seconds. You're asking me to sit there for fucking 20 minutes to watch a reel, to see if a reel happens. And if it don't happen, I get to sit there again and go, ooh, it might happen. But chances are it's going to happen in the first fucking round or the second round. So I'm sitting there waiting for a 30-second reel, and now it's another 25 minutes before I see it again. I need to see it minutes apart, 2 stages. Start priming one set of guys while one guys are, get them out there, get them set up, introduce them while they're already on the stage. Do whatever the fuck you got to do, but the pacing has to pick up. I can't stand it because of the pacing. MMA, I bitch about the pacing, I bitch about Bruce Buffer, but I'm potentially getting 15 minutes of a fight, 25 minutes, and that's of action. So it's a little different than watching a guy stand there and try to stand up. But I got no real problem with Power Slap being around. MMA Orbits made a post talking about how Dana White continuously says that AI will do the rankings soon. So here's what I will say. If anybody believes in meritocracy, you almost have to side with AI doing the rankings. And what I mean by that is AI is going to create some type of algorithm, if you want to call it that, or points system, if you want to consider it that. But the AI is going to take into account certain information and come up with a way to score that. Even if it doesn't tell you how it does it, after a little while, people will be able to figure out what the system is. But the system will be a system. And at that point, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with the way that the AI would rank fighters or the way that they would move fighters, whether you would agree with it or not, it creates a standard, a merit standard where fighters can understand what happens with the rankings, exactly how it removes all opinions. It stops it when number 11 beats number 12, like Moicano. Number 11 beat number 12. He doesn't move in the rankings. It doesn't move him at all. He should have moved, but he didn't move. An AI system would prevent that. The truth is, the UFC could just write the formula and tell us what the rankings are every week, but people would talk shit that they control the rankings. So if they put it into an AI machine and get the AI to do it, then it's not the UFC ranking their own fighters. But if you support meritocracy for title shots and rankings, you definitely should support the AI model. Zabets, get after it.
For me, I kind of disagree with the AI doing it. Well, I don't know how it's gonna work, but why can't the fighters just do it? And then my second thing was, I seen a lot of people mad AP wasn't the best pound for pound fighter, but I do agree with him being number one because he's honestly really dominant, and I don't see anyone taking him from that spot for a while.
That's fair, but I would comment that everybody's biggest reason that John Jones shouldn't be the pound for pound number one, the biggest argument seems to be based on activity. It's the biggest argument. He doesn't fight anymore. He's not there. He hasn't fought in XYZ time. Um, AP fights the most as a champion. So I don't know. It kind of puts him in the argumentative position for many people where he should be ranked above Islam. And that's just based on the the posts we've seen over the past couple months with Dana White tuning up the media all the time, and some of the discussions we've had in here and in the chat room. I don't know. It just kind of goes along with that. Mike.
Look, I honestly been waiting, hoping something like this would happen because I don't think the media should be judging or even ranking fighters. Most of them barely even know what they're watching. You got Islam Makhachev. Look, when he was a number 9 ranked when he beat Thiago Moises, and Thiago Moises was number 14 at the time. When Islam beat Thiago, he jumped to number 4 off that victory. That Now, I honestly have no problem with that because it was based off his performance. Renato Moicano looked like a monster when he destroyed Saint Denis. He should, and I agree, he should have at least been number 6 off that, and he didn't even move up anything. That makes no sense. Which is why it shouldn't. They should not be. They should not be ranking fighters at all. This should be just jumping into AI and just have them rank the fighters, and we go off that. And it should be based off performance and who they're fighting.
Oh yeah, you could create a system. Uh, you could have it take into account strikes landed. You could have it take into account anything you want and rank the fighters. But I agree. That's my biggest pushback is that the media shouldn't do any of the rankings. We got about 5 minutes, and I want to get in the cards. So even though some of this stuff might be good for conversation, I'm gonna try to blast through it real quick. Renato Moicano says he wants Justin Gaethje, spite his call out of Patty and Dan Hooker. Previous to this, Gaethje told the Smo that he would like to return in March. Threw DDP's name out there a little bit, but said it can be anybody. Ilya was asked on a stream if he could beat Islam, and of course he said yes. So fucking Bilal Muhammad's got to pipe in and saying, "Stay in your lane. Don't disrespect Islam. He will deal with you when he sees you. These guys fight in the streets for real in Dagestan." Like he's such a fucking homer. Islam made a comment the next day saying, "Yeah, it's no big deal. Ilya didn't cross any lines. Whatever." Someone asked him. Fucking Bilal is like the Dagestani Chihuahua right now. Bilal just needs to be Bilal. Train with them. Be their friend. Be yourself. Uh, I think it's sad that Bilal doesn't have that for himself. That confidence in self. I think it's crazy, to be honest. How he just seems to morph into a different person after training with these guys. DDP recently said he expects to fight in February in Australia. He and his coach have mentioned Robert Whitaker. Sean Strickland and his coach say they were told he's next, but Eric Nixick did say or acknowledge that if Rob finishes Chimaev, there's a chance that he could jump Sean because the fight's going down in Australia. I think that's fair. Don Davis told Yahoo Finance that they pay the same as the UFC, plus bonuses that are 5 to 10 times the average fighter pay in the PFL. They're way more than 5 to 10 times the average fighter pay in the PFL. He says also, if you look at, there's only one place that ranks all MMA fighters, and 30% of the PFL's roster is in the top 25, and 30% of the UFC's roster is the top 25, which means that they're the same and that PFL is growing. And okay, so they have 10 out of the top 25 on average. If you actually go to Fight Matrix and check through it, most of their fighters are in the bottom 15 of those rankings. And I don't want to talk bad about Fight Matrix, but these guys have like Yoel Romero at number 7, for fuck's sake. Like, they are not the sharpest rankings you have ever seen. They use a point system of some sort. But hey, that's what Don Davis does. Don Davis is a fucking idiot. That's my comment on that. Don Davis is a fucking idiot. Yep. Dana White claims that Francis Ngannou was offered more money to fight John Jones than he made boxing, says he knows the real numbers that nobody else knows. Francis has not denied that and probably won't. We've done some math to figure out that it was at least equivalent to stay with the UFC for his next 3 fights as it would have been to go box twice and then fight for the PFL. We have positively figured out that it's at least pretty close, if it's not more. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's at least in the ballpark. PFL. My comment is PFL is done. They're postponing cards. They're fucking broke. Bellator is done, is what I meant to say. Bellator is probably cooked. PFL is broke. They're canceling cards. I'm not even sure if they're going to finish the Bellator fight series right now. CagesidePress.com is where I was reading this article earlier. I don't really have a way to post it in the comments here right now at the moment. But the article by Jay Anderson, which is a good read, says that they're already rescheduling some of those fighters and even potentially on PFL cards. So, yeah, I think Bellator's already cooked. I think they've signed over enough people that if there's anybody left that they haven't signed over, they don't care. They're just going to release them. It's just a matter of time. We knew it was coming. Did they make it 10 months since their first card? I'm just curious because we guessed 10 months. Trace.
Man, I don't understand why Dana White doesn't just like create his own smaller organization and like put somebody in charge of it that he plans to groom to be like his successor. Like when he finally plans to step down, this is the guy that's taking over, and you put that guy over the smaller organization, and you groom your own talent there. You bring in all these other guys, you weed out the good and the bad, and you promote from inside yourself without putting them in the UFC. Lesser pay, obviously. I don't understand why they haven't done something like this. They're to the point where they've killed all competition for the most part, outside of like one and shit. So why not? You're not building competition, but you're building more opportunities for smaller fighters, and also like I said, weeding out the better talent for your organization. I don't know why they haven't done something like that before.
So I think it would be hard to launch it because people would look at it like the B series. But what I can tell you that you may not realize is that TKO Endeavor, they don't own the Dana White Contender Series. It's not their product. Dana White has his own promoter's license, and Dana White owns the Dana White Contender Series. I'm sure that some people are employed within the Dana White Contender Series that are only employed within the Dana White Contender Series. So while it hasn't,
maybe that's the evolution of the Contender Series. Maybe that's where the Contender Series ends up being. You know, it's kind of a little like a vortex of talent, like a tornado. You throw people in, and you find some talent. Obviously, like John O'Malley, future champion. But yeah, maybe that is the next step eventually with the Contender Series.
yeah, it's hard. I think that they could achieve kind of what you're saying by if they would just section the UFC off, do one pay-per-view, and I'm not the guy who made this up, but do one pay-per-view, one road car, or one pay-per-view, one fight night on the road, and one Apex every month, and we will clearly be able to see the levels of the show. We will understand Apex cards. I mean, I already do, but the way it was worded And the way it was said, whoever said this, it was one of the MMAfighting.com guys. I believe that was who I first said say it. It would make it easy for fans to understand. These are Apex fights. Oh, this is the Apex card. These are the guys that are coming. Oh, this is the Fight Night card. These guys are something. Okay, this is the pay-per-view card. These are the money fighters. Yeah, I think they could structure it a little better for presentation so that people get that. But I do understand what you're saying. It's just hard. I think it's just hard for them. Usman.
Mike had his hand up first. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. Well, actually, that's a good idea what y'all was talking about. But what I was gonna say was that it's a shame that is coming to this because PFL, like their whole thing is actually something good. They got good fighters. Same with Bellator. They're all like literally just with good fighters, and it seems like they don't I don't it seems like they're just doing something wrong, and I think it's with their money because they could promote their product a lot better than they have been. Most of the time you don't even know Bellator is on or PFL.
Yeah. They don't have a lot of MMA promotional promoter talent working for them. They just don't. They don't hire a lot of historic promoters, meaning guys who have history in it. PFL specifically. I'll be honest. I think the problem is that everybody wants to be the next UFC. PFL should be in an Apex like facility that they own. They should have a hometown, a very, very, very small version of the Performance Institute, maybe a small hotel that they run for fighters to come to. And the PFL should be TV focused only. They should worry very little about crowds. They should just be worried about we've got a cage. We let a couple hundred people in here when they want to come, 1,000 people, whatever. And we present an awesome TV product. And once we can figure the awesome TV product out, then we can go on the road. Then we can try to compete. Nobody wants to grow. Everybody wants to be a success. They think that you can write it all down and plan it all out and it just makes you a success, and it's just not how it works. And I think that is the biggest fail, is that thinking that you can build an MMA promotion with enough money to make it too big to fail. That's just not how it works. Usman.
Yeah, so quickly touching on a couple of things. What Trace was talking about UFC building their own little thing. For one, that is what Dana White Contender Series is in a sense, and two, um, we used to have UFC Glasgow cards. We used to have UFC fucking I don't know wherever over there in Dutch or you know what I'm trying to say. Um, and because we don't have them anymore, we've had regional organizations like fuck. Come on, I'm blanking right now. But you know those ones
Cage
over there,
Warriors.
Cage Warriors. Yeah, that do good. That have their small shows, that have their small talent, and they blow up and they make their money. They're like you were saying, they're not trying to be the UFC. You don't need to go out there and fucking try and make a big ass arena. Let's have a little show. Let's have a couple of people in seats. Let's have some good talent so that we can shove them up to the big side. Another thing that I was going to talk about, or that I wanted to bring up, I can't remember the journalist's name, but he was going after Kevin Holland for saying these guys are bitches. They don't want to fight. How are you gonna get paid for something you don't do? That's why I get paid so much because I pick up fights so much. The guy had did out all the events, all the numbers of spots, blah 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 throughout the year, and said because of the 700 roster, there is no spots. There, not everybody can be a Kevin Holland. For one, there is a problem with that math because you don't take into account for fallouts and stepping in short notice and shit like that. But two, a lot of people were thinking like, yeah, Kevin, not everybody can be like you. The roster is too bloated. One way to fix fighter pay in the UFC is to cut these 200, 300 fighters and let's just focus in. And my thoughts about that is like, what does the PFL pay for their early prelim openers? I mean, we're gonna
Three,
talk.
3 and 3,
Well, yeah,
$3,000 and $3,000, bro.
we're gonna talk about the PFL. We're gonna talk about one being the big number twos, and let's get somebody. I can't even think. Edgar Chidas. Let's get an Edgar Chidas. He makes what, 15 and 15 maybe? He probably makes more. But let's just lowball him at entry at 15, 15, 12 and 12. You're taking a guy like that, cut him from the UFC. Now he's going to have to go back into an LFA, a Fury FC, or if he's lucky, he gets to open the prelims at PFL and makes 2 and 2, 3 and 3. And it's like, well, what do you want? Do you want fighters to get paid more or do you want them to get cut? Because at the end of the day, the UFC is an opportunity for you to make your 12 and 12. And if you can actually win, get some better money there because nowhere else are you getting 12 and 12, 15 and 15 as a brand new, freshly signed fighter.
Fuck no, you're not. No, you're absolutely not. Yeah, I could unload on that statement that you make there. I agree with a lot of what you said, and the UFC is constantly painted as the bad guy, but we know what these other companies do, and let's be very, very, very clear about something. The PFL is structured, meaning the way it is built. If they succeed, they are a super monopoly, not one, not the UFC, where major companies are dumping billions of dollars in trying to compete and maybe pulling it off, maybe not pulling it off, but having big shows. There's no opportunity for Cage Warriors to keep growing. There's no opportunity for CFFC to keep growing. There's no opportunity for AUW to, is it AUW to keep growing. There's no UAW. There's no opportunity for a lot of them to grow if the PFL succeeds, and that is because the PFL wants to literally start their tournaments per region. They want to own what you would consider the pro amateur circuit, meaning you go pro after you're an AM, but you haven't made the big show yet. They want to have a fucking tournament in every country every year. They want to have seasons where people move up and move up and move up. The ultimate plan of the PFL is to dominate every single region at every single level. When you start out in our this level tournament, and if you win, you move into our season for this region, and then you move on to our worlds. And their plan is to literally own it all. The Bellator opportunity would have been something if they would have said, you know what we can do? We're not going to buy you. We're going to partner with you. And what we're going to do is we're going to make you one of our official tournaments for our world title. So if you win, hey, a Bellator fighter could be the PFL champion, just like in boxing, dudes can carry multiple titles. And then we're going to invite one in, and we're going to let them have a tournament, and then their guys get to advance and move up. And they could have done that to create what what Don Davis pretends he wants to create. Don Davis will tell you that he's trying to create that. He will even tell you he's trying to create a system where they can have multiple belts, meaning they can have belts in multiple PFL tournaments. Don Davis wants nothing more than to shut down all of MMA and give it all to PFL. Usman.
Yeah, I really don't understand the thumbs down and the laughing faces from my boy Connor down there because we have two perfect examples. And you too, Zod. Don't put up laughing faces. I saw your thumbs down too. We have two perfect examples of this going on right now. We had a Patty Pimblett who was selling out arenas, making a hell of a lot of money for Cage Warriors. He was very vocal about saying he was getting a pay cut to come into the UFC. We also have another one right now in Dakota Ditcheva, who, hey, shit, I want to see how good she is. She looks freaking amazing. It's been cool to see her run through women in the PFL, but if they could have given her this many easy opportunities like the PFL is giving her, and they're not easy because they're at least names that we know. But at Cage Warriors, instead of PFL Europe, where she did make her debut with the PFL Europe, and then now is in the PFL tournament, she could have been making a hell of a lot of money. Maybe have become a big star like Patty Pimblett on the European scene, and then had a little more leverage. But what did she do? Go to PFL Europe, win her fights, go to PFL, and hey, hopefully she wins $1 million. But I mean, like I said, Patty said he was making a hell of a lot more money at Cage Warriors than when he got signed to the UFC, and that's the same thing we're gonna see with UFC MENA. We're gonna see some fighters. Some of them are going to be good enough to get into their UFC MENA season. Oh, you're the UFC MENA champion. Well, cool. We have the UFC, I mean, not the UFC, we have the PFL champion season. Now come over here and now you're at the PFL. Like, it's going, it's been talked about doing every single fucking region. And we've already have two examples of it here right now in front of us.
I'm convinced that Connor only has a thumb down emoji on his keyboard, so when he actually gives you the thumbs up, he's actually giving you a thumbs up, buddy. So he's really loving what you're saying.
Yeah, if you find the interview that Don Davis did with Yahoo Sports, he named like 2 new places that they're trying to be in next year. They're literally like after all of MMA. It's a crazy thing. All right, I'm gonna just finish up. I've only got one left here. Um, John Nash at Hey Not the Face posted new filings for the Lee Zufa plaintiffs mandatorium in support of the motion for preliminary approval of settlement, which includes the allocations and purpose schedule for completion, the settlement, for completing the settlement, as well as 50 plus declarations from fighters that support the settlement. So I'll give it to you in a nutshell. Uh, It only settles one of the lawsuits, not two of the lawsuits, and it's 40 grand more, which gives 75 or 70, 40 million more, but that allocates 70 more for just the Lee case. It leaves the Johnson case open. It also doesn't prevent people from the Lee case from trying to seek further damages. I'm not sure if that means through the Johnson case or just later on their own, but it doesn't stop that. That was a note that I thought was very, very important to see. Some of the notes are crazy, so it's like they're suing for like an 11-year time period or 8-year time period, somewhere in between there, guys. I'm trying to blow through it and not open everything up. It's like 70% of fighter pay for that time period that they're dishing out. It's something incredible. Like, add up all the fighter pay for that time period, all that time period where they were going millions and 20 and 30 and 40 million in debt. They're giving 70% to the fighters. So it's a pretty good deal. It is going to be taxed as income. A lot of these guys are set to get a couple hundred grand. Only a few of them are set to get millions or millions plus. Like 100 of them are set to get a 250,000 plus, a little bit over 100 of them. I mean, it won't be epically life changing money, but I mean, 100 grand, couple hundred grand is life changing. I'm not trying to downplay it, but I'm just saying it's not, this isn't caviar money. And a lot of the fighters wrote in. Vanderlei Silva says that he needs the money. He has health problems and he really needs the money. A lot of fighters wrote in saying that they need it because they don't have health insurance. Yeah, it looks they really want this one to be accepted And then later on, the Johnson case will come to light where they can try to change some of the rules or laws and maybe seek health insurance or something for fighters in the past, or fighters no longer with the UFC who maybe meet a certain criteria. But the big lawsuit seems to be closing. Usman.
Yeah, y'all know me, man. I feel like I'm kind of an asshole when it comes to fighters and all this extra shit. This, I'm not gonna get into all that. But one thing that I did see is people wanting to make a big sob story about Shane Carwin and whatnot, and it's like, yeah, I mean, the guy was a champ. He should have money. I don't know what he did, how much he got paid. I don't know if he saved it all. But at the end of the day, somebody else fucking did the math. I just looked at it, and the dude got punched 90 times in his UFC career. He got 90 punched 90 times. Fucking Vanderlei's face is falling off every other fight. Yeah, Vanderlei, let's hook the boy up. Shane Carwin, yeah, you can get a little bread on the side too, but it's like, bro, you got punched 90 times, and one of them was 73 times against Junior Dos Santos. All the other one were like 3 punches, 12 punches, 5 punches, or some shit like that. It was like, like I don't know. Everybody wants to. This is the most fucking emotional fucking fan base, crybaby fan base that also wants to be white knights, but also wants to be like, y'all guys are a bunch of pussy ass snowflakes. Like, who cares, man? Fucking 90 punches. Yo, you made some good ass money and you became a champion. Fuck it.
Agreed. All right, so we got to get over the card here. MMA Guru did shed some light on the fact that UFC numbers are down. Embedded numbers are down quite a bit. You could check out his page for that post. I'm not going to get into it. We're out of time. Charles Oliveira had a baby. Congratulations to him. MMA Guru posted some shitty shit about Amy Kaplan. I'm not a fan of Amy Kaplan, but he did say some shitty shit. A lot of people went after him and a lot of people defended him. I just want to say Guru was wrong. If you know about the situation at all, he was wrong. No matter what kind of jokes or any other shit we all might want to crack or say, uh, he was fucking wrong. It's not right. I don't think it's very excusable if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'm not heavy or anything like that. My wife's not. We don't. No one close to me really is, but I just don't see any fucking reason to shame somebody over it, to say the least. Yeah, that's all I got. Kind of slammed through some of it a little quick, because I write so fucking much of it up. I forget that we're on a time limit here. Let's get over to the card. Okay, no hands. Sorry, I don't always look down, man. So sometimes I got to stop and make sure that I take the time to look. All right, so this week's fight card is UFC Fight Night 247, Royval versus Taira. I don't know if I say it right. Taira. Is it Taira? Or is it Taira? Usman, I know you'll know. It's Taira. Tatsura Taira.
Tyra.
Yeah, I butcher a little bit, but I don't feel that bad. You know how I get down, whatever. Um, should be a good card. Should be a good card. All right, so we can get into it. Opening fight is. Ah, man, I know I usually do. This is at the Apex, right? I did not check, if I'm being honest. Does anybody know?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just an Apex card in wonderful Paradise, Nevada. So I don't have to. They say Las Vegas, but it's not in Las Vegas. It's in Paradise, Nevada. Um, Okay, so the card opens up with Clayton Carpenter and Rocha fighting. These guys are flyweights. You know how we do it lately. I'm just going to get the odds out there on them. Takes too much time to do tail of the tape, and nobody can track all that shit anyway, if I'm being honest. Clay Carpenter opens up at minus 200. Lucas Rocha plus 162. Now, capmma.com, plug our website if you haven't been there. Our website takes all the sports books, all the odds on it, and just gives an average line. So when I'm calling these lines out, these are just the average line for that fight. Not necessarily a specific line that you can go to a book and get, but clearly you'll be able to get something close to it because it is the average. The over under is set at 2.5, minus 126 for the over, plus 108 for the under. 33 books, 6 days. Trace, tell me what you're betting on this fight.
So yeah, Clayton Carpenter is he's kind of like supposed to be like a child prodigy, man. Like he was supposed to be like a high level tournament fighter whenever he was coming up. If I'm remembering right from the Contender Series. Yeah, looked good in his Contender Series in his win. Looked good in his UFC debut with a first round submission. Hasn't fought in about a year or over a year. I think he should be the rightful favorite. He should probably win a decision here if he doesn't get a late round finish. Yeah, I like Clayton Carpenter a good bit here. He's probably every bit of that minus 200. Carpenter by decision would be my bet.
Very nice, very nice. Mike, you betting anything different on that one?
No, Carpenter definitely is the rightful favorite, and at minus 200, that's just good money right there. Especially with how good he is, he can do it all, and I actually think he's going to finish Rocha. So yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Usman, any plays?
I do what the lines tell me. Plus 350 split, minus 115 goes the distance. So that means it tells us to hit the over 2.5 at minus 135 for a good little value play. I'll just say everybody and their grandma is on Clayton Carpenter from the way Mike's saying it. Seems like it's for good reason. I do not trust it. You know me. I'll probably put a little bit on the dog.
Yeah, I know. I know how it goes. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. Yeah, I get it. All right, next fight up.
Hey, and just for the record, I was skeptical because of the record, because Rocha has a lot more fights. But man, when you watch Carpenter fight, you completely understand why he's the favorite.
Fair enough. I don't claim to do the tape around here. You boys do, and you kill it. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna stick to it on that. I'm gonna stick with you guys on this one. Um, all right. Up next should be. Oh man, did I freeze everything up? Son of a bitch, I did freeze everything up. Tell me.
This fight's Dan Argueta versus Cody Haddon.
Yes, it is. Odds on this fight are. Let me see if I can get there. Everything just unfroze. What the fuck did I do? Dan Argueta plus 153. Cody Haddon minus 192. 30 through 2 books, 3 days. The over is set at minus 2 or minus 160. The under is set at plus 135. I don't know enough about Haddon to understand. Maybe one of you guys can make me understand why Dan Argueta is the dog here. Um, Maybe Haddon's coming in hot, and I just don't know about it. But man, any guy coming off Dana White Contender Series that's a favorite against.
A lot of it has to do with he's fought Steve Erceg early in his career and went to a decision with Erceg.
Okay, okay, and like
That's not all. That's part of it.
fair enough. And I'm not saying like Argueta is the greatest fighter ever or anything like that. I just, man, it seems crazy for a guy to be coming in like that. Are you playing this fight, Trace?
Man, initially I was like Dan Argueta all day, like just the step up in competition, the type of wrestler that the guy is. He's had good fights in the UFC, just bad luck in the UFC. Dan Argueta, uh, Cody Haddon fights at all levels. Nice body work. Throws to the head a lot. Mixes the body work up with the head real well. Yeah, and this is gonna be a hard fight for Argueta. I'm gonna take Argueta just because of the experience edge and the wrestling, perceived wrestling edge, and there are areas where he could get a submission win in this fight, but I think it's more likely either a finish early for Cody Haddon or Dan Argueta wins a decision later in the fight. Very, very interesting fight.
I've got no debate for it. Mike, what are you playing?
Hey, look, man, y'all know I like talking shit about Argueta, especially since I should be talking shit about him now because I was telling everybody about Cody Haddon. Like, this dude is for real. And that Usyk fight was one of the best fights I've seen outside the regional scenes. I think the only other person I saw that was just as good was Johnny Parsons. Now, this is where I put my fandom aside, man. I know this is going to be a hard fight for Haddon because Argueta, even though he will slow down later on, I still think his best chance is to finish Argueta early, and I don't see that happening. Argueta has a grappling cardio, and his grappling strength is going to be something really hard for Haddon to deal with. So I am actually on the dog.
Sounds like we lined up pretty well on that one, Mike. I like that. So, yeah, I guess we're both riding Argueta.
Yeah.
Usman, what about you, brother?
Oh,
You already
uh,
know who he's
hey,
betting.
hey, no, Mike, you know I picked Argueta when this fight was called, and you told me there's no way in hell Argueta wins this fight. Hey,
I know, but I did tape study,
nine
man.
for nine,
That changes my mind a
nine
lot.
for 19 against John Matsumoto. Dan Argueta is no punk. He's not gonna get finished. You got one loss by decision. I know it's against Steve Ursig. Give me over. Give me Dan Argueta plus 3.5. And give me fucking Dan Argueta, baby. Let's go, GOAT.
Are we looking at the split in this one?
Yeah, plus 350. I mean, that tells us to hit the over. Minus 125 goes the distance, tells us to hit the over at a minus 160. That's free money all day. I don't think Dan Argueta gets finished. And hey, if Cody Haddon is really that good, then maybe he makes it close and we get some shitty judging and we get a split.
Well, I mean, realistically, this fight is really determined each round by whether the takedown is there or not for Argueta. If Argueta
It will be.
wins that round, if Haddon's able to keep it standing, Haddon probably wins that round.
Yeah, the takedown will be there. Like Haddon's been taken down, and it's not like he has the greatest takedown defense, but that the strength of Argueta is what I believe is what's going to do most of the heavy lifting. And I think that over is the smartest bet you can probably make on this fight.
That's my boy Mike.
Lock it in
That's
then.
my boy Mike.
Well, I will say that at a glance, this one seemed like Argueta at a glance, and you boys did nothing but kind of reinforce that for me.
I did not expect to get him at dog odds, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like minus 200, if I'm being honest.
Double
I
dog
couldn't.
parlay right out the gate. Let's go.
Up next is Cory McKenna, short arms, T Rex McKenna, and Julia Polastri. Julia is minus 135. Cory is plus 109. That's 32 books last 3 days. The over 2.5 is minus 398. Minus 590 at touch tab. Minus, I think that's the deepest one. I think that's the worst of them, but man, plus 300 for the under. I don't, I doubt there's anything to talk about here, but Trace,
I'll give it to you quick.
Trace,
Over,
I
over,
love the
over,
over in
over,
this one.
over. Yeah, I mean, simple over on this one, and I think Julia Palastri's the side. Corey McKenna's small. She's small in every fight. She's always going to be the smallest fighter. She's cute though, so there's that. But yeah, man, I think Julia Palastri probably takes a decision here, but over is the best way to go about it. Yeah, simple.
Her arms are so short, bro. I'm always just waiting for someone to be tall enough to just put their hand on her forehead.
Yeah, little broer.
Bro, her arms are so fucking short. I don't know what her reach is, but her arms are so fucking short. Mike, tell me what the smart play is.
The smart play is just Polastri. She is way more. She strikes with way more intent, and I think she'll have the grappling advantage. And it looks like the money is coming in on McKenna because I know she wasn't a minus 135 when I first looked at her. So I would play just the money line because I can see her finishing McKenna. She is a really aggressive fighter. So I think if she gets the fight now, if there's an opening, she will finish the fight. But minus 135, that is just a real good price. And I think there's going to be more money coming in on McKenna. So maybe wait like a few days and see where the money line goes.
Are you telling me a first three fights dog parlay could be happening, Mike? Mike? Because now we're
It
speaking
could.
about much.
Wait a minute. I didn't say McKenna was the dog, guys. Or I didn't say
At
No,
minus,
I'm
Polastri was
saying
the
money's
dog.
coming in on McKenna.
but her at almost at a pick'em's pretty fucking crazy in itself. Though I mean, Poppin should be the pretty sizable dog here.
Either way, either way, I would not play McKenna. I would play the fucking over. Dog, dog, over. Dog, dog, over. That's how the song should go. All right. Up next will be, I don't even know who fucking up next. Up next is Chris Barnett and Junior Tafa. What's the over under on whether or not Junior pulls out on Thursday and his brother steps in? A little bit of fun, but seems fucking feasible, doesn't it? Uh, what the
Yeah, but I hope not because he got the worst one right now. If they switch out, he'd be fighting the better Tafa brother.
bro? What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, Justin's way better than Junior.
Where did this fight open? Weren't we just?
Wasn't Tafa like the biggest underdog?
No,
Yeah,
this is that dumbass fight that with the fake line where you could get Tafa at plus 575 and Chris Barnett at minus 700.
I mean it was on Fight IO. I seen it.
Yeah, it was on there for like 30 seconds before somebody took it down. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but that's what happened.
Yeah, for positive. All right, I'm trying to find what Bet Online opened it at. Sometimes our site catches it. I want to know what Bet Online opened this fight at. Yeah, no fucking way that Barnett line was ever correct. Chris Barnett plus 330 or plus 289 on average. Junior Tafa minus 385. Fight to go over 1.5 plus 160. Fight to go under 1.5 minus 200. 30 books, 3 days. We've only been reporting this fight for 3 days on our site. Uh, so I would be really curious to know if that line flipped that fucking big. Even if the corrected line that we seen where Barnett was like a plus or a minus 500 or a minus 400, there's no fucking way that it flipped that drastically. Usman.
You know the rule. We get two shipbirds at heavyweight. You bet the over. Come Friday, that 1.5 is going to be a 2.5. So get your parlays in now.
There you go,
You
Usman.
know it. It always happens when we get a shipbird like this. When we get a Jason Vandera, when we get a damn Collier. It always screws us over, and my dumb ass waits to put in the plays late. So put him in now. You go Chris Barnett by decision, or you get Tafa by KO, because Chris Barnett is gonna do some stupid shit like a spinning heel kick, and Tafa's gonna walk right into it and give him a good left hook.
If that line flipped that drastically, I have to bet Chris Barnett on principle. No way Vegas loses like that.
Wait, who's the dog now?
Bro, Chris Barnett is a plus 289 on average. 289.
I
He
feel
is
like that's
plus
still a little
3.
crazy.
He's a plus 330 at Betfair.
Is Barnett gonna grapple the dude?
He could. It is a Tafa brother.
Man,
It
come
is
on,
a
man.
Tafa brother.
No,
Guys, y'all know
Can he
what
grapple?
I'm saying to
what
you is if so much money is on Junior Tafa that he went from a plus 400 to a minus 400. He's minus 430 at like 3 books, 435. If you're telling me that line flipped that far, there's no fucking way I have to bet Chris Barnett. I have to.
bro, if you're betting Tafa at -3, like if you're betting him over minus like 150, you do not feel good about that shit. I don't care who he's fighting.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you there. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if you got Tafa as a dog, good for you.
This has got a spot
Just
fest,
bet the over though.
fast description overwritten all over it. Everybody's like, "Oh, Barnett's old as shit. Tafa can knock him out in the first round." Once it goes past the first round, this fight does not. This fight doesn't end inside the distance. It probably goes to a
Hey,
decision.
Yeah, and
question
Barnett,
though.
go ahead.
Is Barnett a quitter? I mean, I don't remember. I feel like he was
No, he's
taking
gonna
tough
run
outs.
around.
Mm,
Twitter, bro.
No, he's not a quitter, but he's just not
He's a
good.
runner though.
This dude fights 15, he fights 15 sloppy minutes and still has enough energy to do front flips afterwards. Come on, bud. He ain't no
Yeah, I'm
He's a
quitter.
just
runner.
making sure. Give us that over 1.5.
Yeah, he's a runner. I can't argue with you guys on
What's the over? What is the over set at 1.5? Do we have a
Plus
line?
160.
160.
Oh, that's good, bro. That's
That's
easy.
easy money.
I would just go ahead and ladder that 1.5 and 2.5 if you can.
Okay.
All right. Up next, cause gotta keep it moving, is Themba Gorimbo and Niko Price. Oh man, that's not a bad fight.
What?
It's not a bad fight. Thembo's gonna get beat up. He Thembo's gonna get beat up
What?
by an old man.
No.
He's probably gonna win a
Look, bro.
decision. He's probably gonna win a decision,
Nico,
but he's gonna
What's
get
the
punched in
odds?
the face by an old man.
Nico's fighting for the right to have kids at this point. He's got as many kids as he's got wins in the UFC. I feel like he only fights so he can get laid.
Listen, man. Listen. Explain this to me. Niko is plus 241. Themba is minus 313. 34 books, 6 days. The over is set at 1.5, but the over is minus 215. That's a weird line for a 1.5. Plus 175 for the under. That's the easy over. And yeah, I think that Themba probably wins a decision. I'm not probably, but I say Niko Price. Who were the two dogs to open the card? The two dogs and Niko Price. That's the play right there.
So I feel like this has got a Nico Price meme written all over it. Just feels like that way. Feels like the Randy Brown posting him up with his shin, then hammer fisted from the bottom knockout. Some kind of weird shit like that's going to happen because that's just a Nico Price fight. But honestly, I think inside of round 1 or 2, we see Themba with a submission in this fight.
Okay. I don't have much of an argument for you on tape, but I'm going to bet against your ass. Mike, what are you playing?
I'm just on Themba money line. This is a real easy fight for him. I don't see him trying to strike with Niko because Niko is he has such a crazy pace when it comes to striking. He can just grab him, control him, and just throw him down. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the submission either. Just the money line. Parlay him with somebody.
Okay, that's fair. Um, Usman.
I feel like I've said this all year, and I don't have any numbers for it, but I think it's looking pretty damn good. We just saw it last week with Jose Aldo. You don't get to do it twice at this age. You don't get to go get a big win and then come back up against a younger, better fighter, and you get to pull it off again. It's Themba Gorimbo. I hate the money line. I was already thinking about the finish. Look down inside the distance is plus 110. I'll take that right there. Give me some plus money on Gorimbo.
Hmm. I'm taking
Hey, hey,
Kaepernick.
hey, hey. Can you
Hey,
believe this shit? Can you believe this shit? They knew we were getting some fucking free money on that over 1.5 Chris Barnett fight. Chris
listen,
Barnett
bro.
is out.
I'm taking Chris Barnett.
No, you're not. Chris Barnett is out. He's not fighting.
Says who?
Are you serious?
Says MMA Orbit and Spinning Backfest.
Oh my
What?
god.
Man, I gotta take him out of the parlay calculator now. Ain't this a bitch?
Suppose I don't know if this is true, but supposedly Junior Tafa will now face Sean Sharaf, whoever the fuck that is.
Who is
Sean?
that?
Why even rebook that fight? Why not just let it go? What the fuck?
Yeah, get her over one way or another, bro.
Jonathan Pearce versus Pat Sabatini. Fucking banger, boys. I know you're all excited about this one. Don't lie to me. Pat Sabatini plus 131. Jonathan Pearce minus 151. That's pinnacle. The average isn't far off that. Plus 119, minus 147. 31 book, 6 days. Over 2.5 for minus 174. Under 2.5 for plus 144. Um, yeah, I think Jonathan Pearce is the side on this one. That's just my opinion. Trace, tell me what to bet.
Man, I put it in the team chat room earlier today. I went back and forth on this fight. This is one of the hardest fights for me to pick on this card. It's the hardest fight for me to pick on this card. I just see it going both ways, man. I can see JSP going out there, getting takedown after takedown, and beating him up on the feet, and then working in the takedowns, and then just a dominant performance like always. But then I can also see fucking Pat Sabatini go out there, and if he's able to be the better wrestler, because we already know he's the better submission guy. If he's able to be the better grappler and outwork JSP and outmaneuver him, get his hands on him, get a feel for him, kind of figure out how strong he's at, where he's weak at, I think we see him probably get the finish, probably get the submission in this fight, man. It's just really it's who the better minute winner is going to be in this fight. It could go either way. I need to see that first wrestling exchange, but I'm going with the guy who has the better chance of winning, finishing the fight in this one. So I'm going to put money on Pat Sabatini. I think if he's able to get a takedown, he could probably get the finish in this fight. Uh, yeah, give me Sabatini, man. But it's I'm not going to feel good about it until that fight's over. So it's just pick your side and hope you're on the right side, I guess. But I'm going Sabatini, probably sub round 1 or 2.
Um, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I do sincerely think Pearce is the side, but I did no tape, and I heard you say that you argued with yourself about it. So, no smoke from me. Mike, what are you playing?
I think Sabatini is the side, man. He's got the cardio advantage, and he's way more. He's just way meaner when it comes to the grappling. When he knows how to get the fight to the ground. Yeah, first off, let's talk about that. He has way more. He has different ways of takedowns. Like, how would I say, a more diverse takedown. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Pierce is just more of using his size to his advantage. That's really all it is. and we've seen him use that to his detriment. Like he really does get tired. Sabatini doesn't. We've seen him go 15 hard rounds, just pure grappling, and he's barely even breathing hard. Well, he's not breathing hard at all. And you can see it in the way he talks afterwards that it was just like a walk for him. I think Sabatini has the cardio advantage, and I think that's going to play a role. I think round one is going to be very even because they're both very strong, and we're probably going to see a little bit on the feet, which is going to be to Pearce's advantage, but we're going to see Sabatini close the distance and just really work it on Pearce. And I think he's probably going to get the finish in round three. Sabatini's the side, especially at plus money because I think that plus money is due to him getting knocked out by Lopez, and everyone's just thinking he doesn't have a chin. He does have a chin, man. He just got hit with a power puncher. So this is
That
Sabatini all day.
that shit just keeps getting better with age as well. That loss. I mean, as good as a loss can look, you know.
Yeah, dude, he knocked out who's that African dude? That surprised the fuck out of me when he knocked him out because I was sure he was gonna lose that fight.
Usman, what you got on this fight, brother?
So we're looking at numbers here, and big red flag, green flag, whatever you want to call it. Fight goes to split is plus 275. Usually when we see the split line like that, we're looking at a women's fight where the over is minus 350, some shit like that. You know what I mean? Instead, we got an over 2.5 at minus 174. Like most likely outcomes, Pierce by points and Sabatini by points, both matched at plus 195. The lines are both matched at unanimous decision and split decision for both of these guys. So books telling us this is gonna go to decision, right? Um, I was with y'all and thinking Sabatini doesn't even need to wrestle. Jonathan Pierce is going to do the wrestling for him. He is going to be the one that gasses. Let Jonathan Pierce come in and get a neck snatch, get on top, get reversed, and let the reversals keep going until he gets tired. I like Pat Sabatini, and Pat Sabatini by submission is plus 525. I like that. Sabatini inside the distance plus 375. I like that.
What really kind of turned me was the Onama fight with all the reversals in there. Like if Onama can reversal, which I granted a lot of that was just being explosive and shooting or powering through stuff and just being just a very explosive person in general. I do feel like he's going to be able to get the flip overs and reversals on JSP and probably get the submission that way. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and gets his own
I
takedowns as
mean,
well.
those
But
reversals though were really they were really strange with JSP having the damn body triangle in the foot on the right side and fucking Onama just being an athletic freak. I don't for one I don't think Sabatini lets him get the body triangle on him like that anyways. But I wouldn't read too much into those because that was just straight up fucking power.
100%.
Power versus technique, man. Technique is on Sabatini's side.
Well, I'm gonna use the technique of pushing this shit along, and we're gonna move on to. They list him. The UFC lists him as Ramazan Temirov, but it's Ramazan Beck is how I believe it said. Ramazan Beck Temirov and CJ Vergara are the next fight. Over on the odds board, CJ Vergara is mine or plus 240 on average. Uh, Ramazan is minus 313. Over 2.5, minus 190. Under 2.5, plus 160. Um, okay, I know why this line is what it is. I know who that dude is. He fights over in Risen. I know he's on a tear and he's on a tear of knockouts. And I know if you go look it up, it's going to be like halfway decent fighters. And then I think there's like one stud. And I haven't looked this up recently or today. I just know that I know who he is. CJ Vergara has never been knocked out. He evades very, very well. Um, man, I have faded him and missed. I have bet on him and missed. CJ Vergara is not a fighter that I have read super well. I'm probably only 50-50 on him at this point, if I'm being 100% honest. But I don't think that Temirov can knock him out here. I don't even think that is I don't even think it's a possibility. I think the over at minus 190 is a good bet. And I think looking at the split is probably a good bet here. And I think that CJ Vergara might not be a bad play for a very small amount. I don't really encourage people to play dogs just because I'm on them. I never have. You guys know that. But for CJ to be able to win round 1 or 2, I'm going back to look right now. I'm literally clicking over onto a sure dog right now because I want to make sure I'm right. But CJ has been the distance. He has been in his last 6 fights. He has been the distance 4 times, and 4 minutes over 4 minutes into the second. In the other 2, he's dropped 3 and won 3. Not a super consistent guy. But Temirov, yeah, I fucking knew that's what I was talking about. He hasn't been out of the first round in 5 fights. 5 fights back, he went to a decision. That was in February 2022. I don't know. He's going to gas when he can't knock CJ out by mid-second round. CJ's going to win the 3rd round. I think the split decision is a nice look here, and I think the split decision on CJ is a nice look here. Trace, tell me why I'm wrong.
I didn't really do much in this fight. Not really know much about the debutant coming in, the guy from Ryzen, and Vergara doesn't pique my interest enough to bet on him as a dog, so I didn't even look into this fight. So pass for me. Pick for pick's sake, I'll take what's his name, the Uzbekistani from
Temirov?
Temirov, probably by round 2 KO.
You ain't betting that shit. Get out of here. Mike, what are you betting?
I didn't say I was betting it.
I'm just busting your chops. Mike, what are you betting on this one?
Okay, so I was thinking the same as you. Like Vergara's probably the side because he's not going to get knocked out, and he could take shots really well, and the pressure that he brings into a fight. The problem is he doesn't bring that pressure anymore. That Daniel Lacerda fight where he almost got knocked out. Since then, he has not brought that pressure, and he's trying to take a measured approach, which is not going to work against this guy. Because I've watched the fights where he goes to a decision, he keeps that same pace, and even though he doesn't really throw in combos that much, he picks his shots very well, and he throws with all power. That's the kind of guy you're gonna have to like really make him work to get him tired. If you're not bringing that pressure, he's gonna be able to do that for 3 rounds. So I got him by decision because I'm all about recent performance. If I don't think you're gonna bring that old you back, then I can't go by the old you. So I think with the way Vergara has been performing in his last 2 fights, it's gonna favor the other guy by decision because again, I don't think he's gonna knock Vergara out.
No, I think Vergara evades quite well, and I think that's what you were getting at. Is that since he's been hit real hard, he has taken more of an evading approach at fighting. But I think it serves him well in this fight. I think that old style of pressure would might get him knocked out by Temirov, but he'll spend the first couple rounds at least evading, and then you'll probably see him engage in the third, try to throw some body kicks, shit like that. That's just what CJ does. Usman, what are you betting on this one?
Man, I thought I was gonna be able to dunk on Mike when he brought up Vergara's pressure. I was gonna be like, pressure. The boy's in and out, skirt on the outside recently. He's in and out. I get the fuck out of the way. I don't want to get hit big. But Mike knows what he's talking about, man. Maybe he's an okay better, man. I might start telling him. Uh, but I like CJ. Let's go over minus 195. There's no props. There's nothing listed for anything on this fight. So let's just go over.
Fair enough.
Put that in your parlay.
So different sites, including our board, have these fights in some different orders. I always jump over to UFCstats.com to see what order they have the fights in when there are conflicting sources. So UFC.stats.com says that Abdul Razak Alhassan Alhassan, there's not a there, yeah, whatever. Versus Josh Fremd is the next fight on the card. So I'm gonna move over to that one. Josh is going off. I have to scroll around because this shit is out of order for this one. Let's see. Josh is plus 134. Abdul is minus 167, 33 books, 6 days. The over minus 129 for a round and a half. You get plus 110 if you take the under. I mean, the over just seems like a simple play here. Neither one of these guys are real dependable. I don't think either one of them are on a win streak of any sort whatsoever. No contest, loss, win, loss, win, loss, loss, win, win, loss. Yeah, not a fight I'm super interested in, but definitely an over for an 8-leg parlay. Trace, what are you betting here?
I'm kind of going the other way with it, man. I feel like this is the under. I feel like either Abdul gets the knockout early or Josh Fremd probably gets the submission on a tired Abdul Razak early in the second round. Yeah, I feel like it happens one way or the other. But I know sloppy fights do have the tendency to go long, and it could be an over. But I have a feeling this could be an under. So I don't really feel good on picking a side on this fight. So if I had to pick a side, I would probably take the early knockout. But yeah, give me the under.
Fair enough. Man,
Joe, you there?
yeah, you can't hear me?
I can
Now
hear
we
that.
can.
Oh, I heard everything you said. I don't know why you guys couldn't pick me up there. I said I think you would call that a board bet, Trace. Mike, what are you betting here?
I was actually heavy on Al Hassan because it look, he's improved a lot. Like the cardio thing, to me, that's out the window. He's proved he can go 3 rounds. He's proved that he can take his time and actually follow a game plan. And that's just not the case with Josh Fremd. And I think the length, his range, and his reach is going to give him a little bit of problems early, which is why I'm on the over. But man, after seeing Clint pick Al Hassan for his parlay, I don't know about what to say about that now.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut, right, buddy?
No, you got to remember it's a whole parlay. He doesn't have to fuck them all up. He's just got to fuck one of them up. Usman.
Let's try to practice discipline and not touch this fight at all. I just don't like anything. I just don't like anything on this. Nothing at all. So
Oh yeah, right on. So what are you
over one
betting?
and a half and Al Hassan, I guess.
You 100% will bet both of them too. You degenerate fuck.
I said try to
I
practice.
love you, buddy.
Try.
Try. It's like think about it. say you did, but you didn't. Like, I thought about not doing it. I know I'm morally sound, but I chose to do it anyway.
Never forget, Joshua Fremd responded to my bet against him whenever I picked Cedricus Dumas, which I was wrong. And he responded to me. So we both know if you're responding to Twitter, guys, you're probably not the guy you want to bet on.
He was petty. He went through and replied to dozens of people. That I think I seen an interview later where he laughed about it. He said, I sat there for 3 days just telling people off that were on dogging me out on Twitter. Whatever. Good for him. Gave him something to do, I guess.
Yeah,
Alex, go ahead.
So it made me giggle, so it was funny.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't feel like he was mean-spirited about it at all. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I do remember when that went down, and I felt like he was good-spirited about it all.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing. It was mostly just like haha wrong or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't feel like he was out actually like being a dick to people. He was just, basking in his win, basking in the W when everybody doubted him.
Fair play. I mean, after he was a big dog in that fight, undeserved dog in hindsight, but yeah, fair enough, fair play.
Agreed. Bro, is that? God damn. All right, up next, Daniel Rodriguez and Alex Morono. And my distraught there was realizing that D-Rod is on a 3-fight fucking losing streak and is still minus 204. Alex Morono plus 162. That's 34 books. 6 days. Over 1.5 is minus 129. Under 1.5 is plus 110. Can somebody explain to me? I'm sorry, the over is 2.5 minus 172. Under plus 145. Moreno is plus 162 and Rodriguez is minus 204. I cannot understand for the life of me how Alex Morono is not the favorite here. I don't get it.
Well, the Niko price helps.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but Niko Price doesn't actually get dropped. He doesn't get knocked out. Man,
Shit,
I don't know.
Robbie Lawler plus 350. Let's cash, boys.
Yeah, that shit was nice. Fuck, man, that's a hard one for me. I got a hard time taking D-Rod in that one. Trace, are you betting this one?
Just like an over. Like going into it, I thought I'd be over. I thought I'd be on D-Rod, but really, I don't see how you take a side in this one confidently. Both guys are coming off questionable losses. Kelvin Gastelum for D-Rod, and then for Morono, it being like I said, Niko Price. The Joaquin Buckley loss doesn't look as bad in hindsight now because Joaquin Buckley's showing that he's having some pretty good strides and evolution in his game. So that was not as bad. I kind of agree with you that Alex Morono is probably the side in this fight, being the younger guy. D-Rod don't look like he moves quite as well as he used to. Like he's getting up there in age. I think he's like 36, 37 years old. Yeah, I like the over a little bit more than anything else, but give me Alex Morono. Morono probably by decision. D-Rod's hard to finish. So, yeah, Morono by decision. Give me the over. Yeah, give me that.
Man, you guys hear me say I got one good arm all the time. My shit got all fucked up a couple of years ago. They put a bunch of metal in my body and shit. And not a bunch, a little bit of metal in my body and shit. And fuck, I had 2 good arms last time. D-Rod had a win, just to point that out. Yeah, whatever. I do like that over, Trace. I do agree with you. I think that D-Rod I think D-Rod's success was very, very dependent on volume and speed. His volume has I don't want to say greatly decreased. That's not fair. He put out big numbers against Kelvin. I guess big numbers against Kelvin. But for the most part, his volume has been decreasing and his speed is definitely decreasing. When those are your tools, your days are numbered and there's usually no turning it around for yourself. So, yep, I like that over too. Mike, what are you betting here?
Yeah, see, I was on. I thought Rodriguez was the side until I broke down the tape, and this oddly feels like one of those times because remember there was like a little stint there where Morono was just always the underdog, and people really just didn't know who he was until they found out fight day. And I was thinking maybe Morono's the bet, so I decided to look at his Tapology page, and I counted in the UFC, he's been a dog 9 times. He has won 6 of those fights. I'm on Morono.
Yeah, he's underrated as fuck, bro. There is no way he should be the dog
Well,
against
the
D-Rod.
biggest thing is the guy doesn't look like a fighter. Like, if you look at this guy, you're never like, I would not want to fight that guy. Most people are probably, I probably fuck that guy up on walking down the street. But he's a Joe Lozon, those type of fighters. There was a Kenny Florian, Joe Lozon, the smart guys that you see it walking down the street. You're probably, I'd fuck that dude up. In reality, you mess with them, they tear you apart.
Yeah,
Bruno.
till you bump into him and he rips his shirt off and says, "Let's go, motherfucker!" And then you're like, "Uh oh."
Well, Morono got that loose skin, so you might kind of giggle at him.
uh, you
Very
might.
underrated in this position, though. Yeah, I agree. Morono should be the bet.
He's definitely underrated. I can't believe he's a dog to D-Rod. Usman, tell me
Well,
why you're
I
betting
kind of
D-Rod.
get it though. Like, what do you think in a boxing match? Because that's what this fight's mostly going to be. I don't really see Morono being able to get the takedowns. This is going to be a boxing match. I just don't think D Rod's who he used to be.
No, and if you're gonna talk to me about power in the exchanges, if you're gonna talk to me about reach in the exchanges, um, and follow through, and the reason I bring those things up is because again, D-Rod, volume puncher, volume puncher. Um, yeah, it's Moreno is the side for me. I can't. You would have a very hard time moving me on this one if I'm being honest. Like he is the definite side for me. Usman, tell me why you're betting D-Rod.
No, no, sir. Nobody is a bigger Morono fan than me, and y'all know this. Y'all know this. Morono, every single fight, I bet Morono by submission. Those fucking 4 jujitsu schools that he owns will come in handy one day. He will get that takedown and find the submission. Um, but honestly, I mean, even you look at it like Morono does a pretty good job of skirting on the outside and can do what Kelvin did with throwing the 1-2 right down the middle, bringing D Rod into it. Like I really like Morono here. What is most important is we're picking dogs. We're all on the line for some dogs. At the end of this card, we are going to snipe a 2 or 3 dog leg parlay, and let's fucking cash. Cause we're lining up on dogs, boys.
Yeah, I feel like this will be a good night for underdogs. Obviously, not every underdog that you might like is going to hit. But there are definitely a few nights every year where the underdogs dominate the cards. There are 2 or 3 of them every fucking year, and I don't know why all these fights are lined the way they are, but I feel like a lot of them are lined wrong. And I'll eat crow next week or on Sunday night in cash or trash, Usman space if I'm wrong, but man, I really think there's a lot of live dogs here. Um, All right, I'm gonna move it on. Next fight on this card is guys caught me. Well, not caught me, but I'm rolling one, so a little bit of short here on my hand. Grant Dawson and Rafa Garcia. Odds on the board on this one are Grant Dawson. Holy shit! On average, minus 435. He gets as deep as minus 560. The best line you can find for him on the planet. Minus 385. Get the fuck out of here. Rafa Garcia plus 320 is deep or as high as plus 370. 32 books, 6 days, minus 282 to go over 2.5, plus 225 if it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Clearly fucking Grant Dawson. Trace, what are you betting?
Yeah, I'll be taking a shot on Grant Dawson sub round 2 or 3 on FanDuel. Feel like it's pretty straightforward. He should be able to go in there, wrestle Rafa down, get him down, beat him up a little bit, and take the back and strangle him. Do what he does. Should be a Grant Dawson fight.
You think that new Joe guy made this fight?
New Joe guy.
Yeah, the matchmaker Joe.
No, I didn't even know the new guy.
Oh, bro, you don't know. They hired a matchmaker from Detroit. They did the matchmaker sweepstakes where you could fill out to be a UFC matchmaker, get a job. They fucking picked a guy named Joe White from Detroit whose wife is a bartender. And it wasn't fucking me. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
coincidences, huh?
Yeah, if I ever meet Dana White, that's what I'm going to say to him. Hi, I'm Joe White from Detroit, and my wife is a bartender. Fuck off, Dana White. Bro, I had people messaging me about that shit. I'm like, wait, what? No, wait, I don't know. What? Wait. Yeah, fuck that. Anyways, I wonder if he made this fight. This seems like a fight that I can't see any of the traditional matchmakers making this fight. Is Grant Dawson getting that big of a push and I don't realize it? Like, is he getting the big push?
Well, yeah, before Bobby Green, that was the main thing for Grant Dawson. They just wanted. It seemed like they wanted him to just run over Bobby Green so he can make a shot into the rankings and hopefully get a title shot soon.
Yeah, I remember that. What are you playing here, Mike?
I'm on Grant Dawson. It seems pretty easy to me as long as he doesn't gas out, he won't get pieced up, and the grappling advantage is to Grant Dawson's side. So yeah, I mean it's Grant Dawson. I'm not betting him on minus 400 though. I'm staying away from that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Usman, what are you taking?
Man, at these odds, I kind of like Rafa Garcia by decision. Like it's crazy. Look at those grappling stats. You would think on paper that Hafa is the better grappler. Both exactly 3.61 takedowns per 15 minutes. But Hafa's got the better takedown accuracy. Why am I calling him Hafa? This guy ain't Brazilian. He's Mexican. He's Rafa. 79% takedown defense. Yeah, Grant Dawson could get the sub. But if he doesn't, you have Rafa Garcia, who's made a career here in the UFC of taking down some grapplers like a Gritzmacher. He got 0 for 0 against Hackbrass, Clay Guida, you know what I mean, all that. And he's gonna throw out more volume. So if he doesn't get sub, give me the decision and let's pray.
Clay Guida wants to be uh, Grant Dawson when he grows up, buddy. That's a way different level of wrestler there.
You said Clay Guida wants to be Grant Dawson when he grows up. That's an awesome fucking statement, Trace. Chidi and Njokuani versus Jared Gooden going down. Featured fight of the night. Jared Gooden. Odds board, gotta scroll up because shit's all out of order. Looking all unprofessional. Plus 147, minus 185 on Chidi. 34 books, 6 days. The over is 1.5. You get minus 160 if you do it, plus 126 if you don't. Yeah, I have no. I think Chidi should be the favorite, but I have no interest in betting a Chidi fight at this point. Trace, what are you playing?
Hey, we told me Jaron Gooden's the favorite.
No. Chidi's minus 185. Gooden's plus
Oh, okay.
147.
Bro, I'm actually like, it's been a long time since I said this, but the ABCs always bet on cardio. Jared Gooden's only been knocked out 2 times in like 30 fights. How many fights he got? Let's see, where's he at? Jared Gooden, 32 fights. In 32 fights, he's only been knocked out twice. I'm willing to take a bet that he can make it out of the first round with Chidi. Chidi gasses. We're fighting at 170, I think it is. He's going back down in weight after struggling with cardio already, so we know he's for sure only got 1 round of cardio in him. Yes, he's going to be a weight bully at this weight. He's going to be powerful at this weight. When he hits you, he's going to make an impact at this weight. But once he makes it past the first, honestly, like the first 2.5 minutes, he becomes a whole lot less dangerous. And Jared Gooden's got knockout power, and Chidi's been knocked out multiple times. Give me Jared Gooden around 2 or 3 KO, man. I think we see him outlast and come in here and upset Chidi. Them dogs gonna be barking this week, boys.
Man, it sure does seem like it. Mike, what are you playing here?
Yeah, I am on the other side on that one. Look, Gooden does not bring the pace that's going to wear Chidi out, and he does not have this striking ability to hang with Chidi. Chidi's going to piece him up for at least 3 rounds. I think Gooden's going to have the chin to take it, but he's going to get beat up. So, Chidi by decision.
Fair enough. Usman.
Oh yeah, I like exactly that, man. I think you look at the last fight against what was it, Reese McKee? Was that who it was? Chidi. It looked like
Yeah.
he slowed down his game a lot. It did kind of look like the power was a lot less compared to how he is at 185. But he slowed the fight down. He just kept it at distance. He didn't gas out. I like over 1.5 at minus 156 is an easy fucking play right there. Put that on the parlay. And Chidi at points plus 210. Oh, and Clint has Gooden as lock of the dog. Or, or dog lock, whatever the fuck it is.
Lock of the week.
Sure.
Trace, you sure you're gonna
Who's got
dog of the week. You said
got him, Bobby?
you sure you're gonna play that?
Who's got him?
Clint,
Bro,
dog
that
of the week.
that dude blocked me like 2 years ago for saying he had a good job. I ain't worried about that soft ass boy.
He ain't worried about losing no money though. That's the problem. That motherfucker makes stupid bets. I think the whole thing is a gimmick, man. I think the whole thing is a fucking shtick. If I'm being an honest person, if it's not, shame on him, man. Shame on him blowing his fucking retirement at BetMGM and DraftKings. Next fight on the board is co-main event of the night. So Brad Tavares and Jung Park, right? Park is minus 185. Tavares is plus 146. 34 books, 6 days. The over 2.5 rounds, minus 257. The under 2.5 rounds, plus 208. Yeah, I could never bet Brad Tavares again. So I'm sure Jung Park is going to make it into one of my parlays. Trace, what are you betting? Oh, I see Glenn with his hand up. Glenn, are you wanting to get in on this fight, or did I skip you on the last fight?
Sorry, it's just on the last fight. So Liam was on Clint's podcast, and I was kind of in the chat for Gooden. So, my take is, Chidi's kind of chinny, and he's also, this fight is going to be at 170, not 185. So, it's feels to me like the younger guy and the junior guy are going to be meeting up in the middle, and it could be a case like who strikes first, you know?
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you saying that Chidi is chinny either. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I am I am on the side of Trace, where I think that Chidi probably drops the decision, gases after the first round. So on top of being chinny, um, he slows down pretty quickly. So uh, I think I think Gooden is probably the side there, but I don't bet Chidi fights, man. That's not a today thing. That's a long running thing. I don't fuck with that man's fights. There's just a few people. I know better. Um, okay, so that was no problem. But back over to Tavares and Park, plus 146 on Park, or plus 146 on Tavares, minus 185 on Park, minus 257 for the over, plus 208 for the under. I can never bet on Brad Tavares again. Park will make my parlay. Trace, what are you betting here?
I'm not betting anything, but for this fight, I do believe Brad Tavares is easily the side. More proven fighter, fought way better quality of fighters, beaten way better quality of fighters. Every fighter that the turtle Iron Turtle has beaten is I don't believe in the UFC anymore. Very very weak resume for his wins. Yeah, I feel like this is probably a decision, but I will also wouldn't be surprised if we see a very rare Brad Tavares finish in this fight. But for pick's sake, give me Brad Tavares by decision.
Well, damn. Um,
Look at it this way: Brad Tavares has some of the best on defense in that division. I don't see the Iron Turtle outstriking him on the feet either. Like there's not very many clear win paths for this fight for the Iron Turtle. So yeah, give me Brad Tavares. And like I said, I've always been like, it's not a race thing. It's just the Asians in the heavier weight classes don't tend to do very well in the UFC. So he's already kind of like the Canadian fade for me. If you're a bigger Asian fighter, I'm probably gonna not be on you too often anyways, just because for whatever reason it doesn't translate well. And
oh,
yeah,
bro, it's real easy, Trace. There's not a lot of large Asian bodies to train with. That's not being mean. Um, you could say it's stereotype all you want that Asians are
I know
smaller people. It's
Mexicans are.
stereotype because it's real.
I know Mexicans are an off product of Asians, so I don't want to offend Usman too much.
Usman, what are you
I,
betting?
I
Yeah.
I honestly wish this is the one time I wish we were on video because my face gave a big Scooby Doo. Huh? Like what the fuck? Yeah, the only thing I was gonna say is if you're degenerate and you need to have action on it, Joe, don't fucking pick turtle. Just hit the over. You've got a free moneymaker and the king of decisions with Brad Tavares. The guy has set the record for the most decisions in middleweight, and he's probably on the verge of breaking the decision record in what's it called in UFC. And if he's gonna get the finish, it's gonna become late in the third round. Yeah, what everything that Trey said, man. Um, Park is not going to get him down. He's not going to get the submission. He hasn't had a KO in the UFC yet. I know Tavares is old, but Tavares is smart. I like Brad Tavares and Brad Tavares by decision. Over.
That's fair.
Over.
But couple quick questions, real quick. Just rapid fire, Usman. Does a win over over Chris Weidman in 2023 count as a win? Just yes or no?
No.
What about a win over Omari Alkhmedov? Is that like a big dub?
No.
And
But
Antonio Carlos Jr. Antonio Carlos Jr.
Yes.
Oh,
one thing in
any
common: every one of those guys is a better wrestler than the Iron Turtle. Like they're better at in every area almost than he is in the fight game. So it's like this is the easiest fight of those three
And then when
fights.
you look at Turtle's last win, who was it? It was over one of them. One of them. Jarayev. It's like the sub only came because he hurt him on the feet and put him down, and yeah, I just don't think he has the striking to do that with Tavares.
bro, y'all disrespect Eric Anders too much. Mike, what are you playing?
Oh, okay. So I was on Park before the tape study, mainly because I don't know what y'all see in Junior on Park, but that dude is really good. His striking is he gives people precision rather than power, which is that's not something you see often because when you see people get rocked, it's mainly with power. Junior Park has precision striking, and that is a motherfucker to deal with. On top of that, his grappling is very technique based, which allows him to control bigger guys, more jujitsu than wrestling. That's my problem right there. Is that that's not going to work against Tavares. You have to be technique is not going to get him because he has the technique to defend the best takedowns. And the striking, even though he's a very precise striker, so is Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares is even a little bit more straighter with his shots and has better timing. And I would say it's just a little bit quicker. So I think all signs point that this is probably Tavares' fight to win, even though I'm not a Tavares better, but this from what I can see on the tape, the odds got this one wrong.
And I just want to throw it out there. Go back and listen to past spaces. I'm a big Turtle fan. I love the dude even before he went viral with the dance. I made hella money against Jurayev because I knew that was going to happen. But I just think it's Tavares, yeah.
You
Yep,
sound like a
same. I'm
rabbit.
I'm right there with you.
You sound like a rabbit in turtles clothing, Usman. Glenbach, get after it.
So I have two thoughts. Right, so Brad is a control on grappler. Really, like it's cage push. That's how he wins fights, and that's not going to work anymore. And then Jun Park is better on the volume. Also, out of the last, 8 of 10 of their last 5 fights have gone over 1.5. So to the over betters, that's really good. Also, in the 28 fights of Brad Tavares in the UFC, he's never won a bonus. He's never won a knockout bonus, fight of the night bonus, or any type of submission bonus either. So he's not dangerous. So give me Park for like a basically damage basis decision. Is my take.
Ozzy, put the fight out for us, brother.
Ozzy, nice to have you, bro. Can you hear Trace?
By the
Oz.
way.
Ozzy, can you talk, bud?
Shows he's a listener on my thing, and he's putting a thumbs down.
Huh, weird.
He's- All right, Joe, what's you have for the next fight?
Yeah, that's some weird behavior going on there. It's bouncing him around on my screen. Let me just remove from speaker. Yes. Invite to speaker and see if that helps him out there. All right, up next is main event time. Tatsuro Taira and Brendan Royval. Sorry, I got 8 things going on right now for the trying to send him over an invite and get that fixed out. Brandon Royval is plus 190. Tatsuro Taira minus 244. Seems very justified. The over is at 3.5 rounds, minus 113. The under, minus 103. Clever place to put the over under, if I'm being fair. Fuck. I hope he beats Taira. You guys know how long I've been waiting to fade Taira, but this ain't the one. Trace, what are you taking on this fight, bud?
I think this is the one, Joe. I think we can see a Brandon Royval going in there fighting his crazy ass fight and doing weird shit when he shouldn't be doing it. And I think we see him possibly a clubbing sub here, man. I think he could catch Taira on the feet. I think the scrambles, we've seen Taira not always be able to get his takedowns in the UFC. And I think Brandon Royval scrambles probably better than most. So even if he does, I think he's gonna have trouble keeping Royval down. Yeah, I think it's gonna be either a club and sub or some kind of submission off a scramble. I think Brandon Royval catches him here. I think we see a veteran teach another upcoming prospect, a valuable veteran lesson.
Ooh, I hope you're right. Don't fucking lie to me. You lied to me about the Iron Turtle fight, bro. Don't lie to me about this one. Mike, what are you playing here?
Ooh, that's not gonna happen. Tatsuro Taira by decision, guys. Come on, y'all. Taira, I've said this so many times, and I'm gonna say it again. Taira does not engage on their terms, only on his terms. On the feet, he will keep his space. He will only strike when it favors him. Do not disrespect the right hand of Taira. And when he gets him down, he does not give space to his opponents. Brandon Royval does move a lot, yes, but that's not going to work against Taira. Taira's going to take him down. When he takes him down, he's going to hold on and advance position slowly. I'm telling you, these Japanese wrestlers, it's a whole nother level. They are going to take the UFC by storm, and Taira's going to be the one he's going to be the new face of Japanese wrestling. I'm telling you guys, Taira by decision, plus 350, jump on that one.
Yeah, while I hope that Trace is right, I believe that Tatsuro Taira will be a champion. I believe the UFC will build him into that.
No, no, no.
And
I'm not saying all that. I'm just saying he's gonna win this fight.
listen, I understand you're not saying all that. I'm saying that. I think it's one of those things of inevitability. The UFC will find the opportunity and slowly work him up, and the UFC wants him to be a champion badly. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, if he beats Royval though, it's obviously he's gonna go to the title shot. But Pantoja, I think Pantoja's gonna run through him. But I think Tyra's got this one.
I don't think they have him fight Pantoja. I think they give him something else. They're going to give him the most favorable matchup they can for the belt. Even if he's got to wait 18 months to get there, they want
But
him
who's gonna
there.
beat Pantoja?
Is he booked to fight? Is he even booked to
No.
fight?
The only one who I thought could beat Pantoja is out the UFC, saying that he's getting paid more to get back into the UFC.
Mokaev?
Yeah.
Man, he's the highest paid 125er on the planet now, don't you know? Usman, what are you betting here?
Tattoo or Tyra beats Pantoja, guys. I'm letting y'all know that right now. He does have to get through this one first. But yeah, Mike said it pretty damn well. Like we've got to see his striking grow a little bit. There's a reason they're slow balling him, slow rolling, and I guess pushing him as well. Uh, Royval is gonna try to make it crazy. We've seen what happens when Royval tries to tame his style down too. It kind of leaves him just a little too far on the outside, and Taira's gonna give him the kick to the body, kick to the legs, keep him, and then he's gonna line up a couple of shots and yep, control him a little bit on the floor. Taira's our next champion, boys.
Man, if I could, I definitely think he can get there before the end of 2025. But Pantoja is a big ass from where he's at, in my opinion. Zabets, get after it, bud.
Yeah, I agree with the last two speakers had to say. I'm gonna go with Taira. I think he's the next one up for sure. I think he gets the title shot after this. Um, I'll sprinkle around submission round 3 and 4. I feel like he finishes it on one of those, and I'm really high on this play. I really like him a lot.
He's a good fighter to want to ride the wave on. I'll give you that, or I'll tell you that, because he's 125. 125 is the UFC's biggest potential Asian market. 125 to 145 for males. Um, yeah, the UFC is going to want to get this kid there. Like, it's just whatever. I hate to talk like that sometimes. Like, it's not just all on the fighters. Go finish a couple of guys and get your shot. It's not, though. The UFC wants this kid here. I agree with you. I want him to lose, though. Let's be clear. I've been waiting to fade Taira. I hate guys that get a path, that get walked up. Yeah, and he hasn't faced the type of adversity to make me feel like, okay, never mind. He can get through it. I still feel like it's been fed to him the whole time. So whatever. That's just my point, or my point of view on Tatsura Taira. I don't see any hands up, so I'm going to say that. Oh, there we go. James, go ahead, bud. Nice to have you on the mic. Get after it.
Thanks, boss. Appreciate that. I just want to give some insight. Brandon Royval and Tatsuro Taira have actually trained multiple times together. So I actually have a whole bunch of confidence. The reason why Tatsuro Taira took this fight is because he has confidence in the sparring matches that they have had, where he's probably submitted him, had some dominant control time. And I actually think Tatsuro Taira, you've probably seen the worst of him. It seems like each fight he's growing, strength to strength. Especially that amazing takedown he did on Alex Perez last time. I just think he's going to be improving time and time. And I do see him probably either late finish, round 4, round 5 against Royval, or decision dominantly. I think Royval could probably put him into some tricky positions. But I just think Tatsuro is so dominant in that wrestling and kind of distance control. Yeah, I think he's got this one in the bag.
Usman, good take. Good take,
I was
James.
just gonna ask,
Usman.
when's Asa Akira get into the UFC, and when is he gonna make his debut? Is there any news on that?
No, there's no news on that yet. I've been looking closely for that as well. But I think he's fighting bantamweight, which would be a really interesting division for him.
Does anybody know where Taira trains?
Japan, duh.
Good one, good.
Nah, I have no.
Mike, you had your hand up.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, man. So I've been listening to everything that we lined up on for the most part, and I put together a little 10 leg. Vergara over 2.5, Morono money line, Polastri money line, Haddon over 2.5, Carpenter money line, Sabatini money line, Gorimbo money line, the Gooden fight over, Tatsuro Taira money line, and the June Young Park over 2.5. 10 leg plus 16,536. I think that's a good play.
That's worth a sprinkle.
My ass only got four of those. Send it in the chat, bro.
What-
I was like, Usman's over there typing fast as fuck. Like, what did he say? What did he say?
Yeah, I send it in the chat.
Send it in the main chat. Send it in the main chat so Zabets
How?
can see it if he
Did you guys
wants.
see
Okay.
Junior Tafa is fighting someone new? Crest Barnett's not able to make the fight because of the hurricane.
Yeah, we seen it. We seen it. Uh yeah. I mean not a huge card changer. Glenn, get after it. It's probably not Glenn. Is it Glenn? What is it?
It's Glen. It's Welsh. So like Gwen. It's a. I'm from Ireland, but it's called. It's the name is Glen. So just
I
a
will
quick one on the Rafa Garcia fight versus Grant Dawson. Um, Usman might actually like this. It's called the over 1.5 of the last five fights each. They've gone over 1.5 9 times, and then so Rafa by decision or GTD should be a good play. I just thought I was everybody's thinking Grant's gonna blow through him, so I thought that was a good play. And the other thing I was thinking is with Tatsuro Taira stepping up against a strange fighter in Brandon Royval, the GT in the main event might be interesting too.
For people that come in here often know that I'm a big prop hunter. Obviously, I'm not playing Brandon Moreno straight up. I'm playing Brandon Moreno's. I'm gonna play his sub prop, probably his round 1, 2, or 3 sub prop.
Royval. Royval.
Yeah, don't bet him as a money line. He probably doesn't win at a high rate. I just think he has a chance of catching him here in this fight. Uh, Obviously, go with the other guys. I do think it's either more likely Royval catches him early or decision for Taira. So I do agree with that. So I would follow the decision prop.
Man, tell that young lady we're talking fights. It's quiet time. I'm just joking, Trace. I'm just joking. Usman, get after it.
So, like I said, I wanted to put together a little dog parlay that a lot of us were lined up on, and I got four. I got four. Pat Sabatini. Everybody seemed to like a little bit of Pat Sabatini. Dan Argueta, Brad Tavares, and Alex Morono at plus 3,938. Take off Alex Morono. We're looking at plus 1,396. Were there any other dogs that we thought would cash other than those four, or like that we liked more than them four?
No, I can't say that there was. I mean, me personally, yeah, but as the group, that's probably accurate. Um, yeah, as the group, that's probably pretty accurate. If you take the Grant Dawson fight to go over, and you take the Cory McKenna fight to go over, and you take the Niko Price Themba Gorimbo fight to go over, just those three, you get plus 148. If you add the Brad Tavares fight to go over, you get plus 242. Yep, I'm going to leave that one on the parlay calculator and write it down when we're done here because I want to play that one. Plus 250 for that. I think that's a good play. Zabet, get after it.
Hey Joe, just want to say great space tonight. Feel like I got a lot of great picks. Shout out to all the speakers, all the day ones and real ones. Uh, check out capmma.com. I gotta head out. So hope you guys have a good fight week.
Thanks for coming in, Zai. I always appreciate you getting on the mic. We're going to be on YouTube soon, man. It's not a full studio, it's a small studio, but I got a studio. The other guys got some small setups. We're going to try to bridge the space over. So, kind of like radio, where people could call in. Anybody can jump in the space and get right on air. So, we're hoping to work that out. If we're not around randomly for a couple of weeks, we didn't go nowhere. We're just trying to switch over. Thanks for coming in, Zah. Glenn, get after it.
Just quickly, I'm really high on Jared Gooden this week, so just wanted to say that. So I was not in here for that part, but that's just one piece I have in this week.
Fair enough. Someone was on Jared Gooden. Was it you, Trace?
See, senor.
Thought so. All right, so that's it for the fights. I'm going to close the card out. Usman, how many fight announcements are there?
We have 10 fight announcements.
Oh, that's not bad. Let's knock those out, and then we'll call it a night. What do you got, bud?
Busy day, didn't get to put them in order, so apologies for that. But let's start off with the the most recent one. We got Junior Tafa versus, what the fuck was this guy's name again? Shahan Shiran or some shit like that. Yeah, let's not talk about that one. Sean Sharaf.
Yeah. Is it
Sharaf,
Sharif?
Sharif, it's something.
All right. What
UFC
else you got?
309, November 16th. We've got a banger at what's got to be 155. Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson.
Man, that is a good ass fight. Which one of them do you think's retiring?
Not Jim Miller, that's for sure.
All right. Bye, Damon Jackson.
UFC 400.
And he'll make it. And he will make it.
Oh, I don't think he will, man. I don't think he
It's just
will.
a quick 12 years. UFC Vegas 100 on November 9th. We're looking at Cody Stamen versus Damon Blackshear. That's a good fight.
That is a pretty good fight. So loser gets cut?
I think only Cody Stamen gets cut.
No, Damon's on a bunch of
Is he?
losses. Yeah, isn't he?
I thought we haven't seen him since the Mario Batista loss.
Nah, yeah, but he's off. Hold on. Damon Blackshear. Bro, I'm telling you, I think Damon Blackshear is coming off a gang of losses. I'm loading him up right now. Okay, just two in a row. Montel Jackson and
Oh yeah, the
Batista.
Montel Jackson.
Yeah.
Though. No,
All right.
nothing up at there. Nothing, no bad there. That's good losses.
Yeah, they are, and you can get three in a row, and the UFC still give you another fight. I thought he had another one. I thought this was going to be four in a row for him. 100, just honest. I thought it was going to be four in a row for him. Cody is same boat, same boat. It'll be three in a row for him. So I was wrong about my statement. I thought they were both three in a row. I thought both of them were three in a row. Man, my bad. Anyways, go ahead, Usman.
Basel Hafez is coming in for his third UFC fight after losing to Jack Della and then beating Mickey Gall. He will fight Oban Elliott at UFC 309 November 16th.
That'll be a good fight to see.
He go snuggle strangle the what's it, Obi-Wan Shinobi the
I
pillow.
don't know, but I just hate Oban's face, you know? Like, why is his face so small compared to his damn big ass head?
But yeah,
Uh,
Boss Happy should be able to wrestle him pretty easily.
yeah, I think so. Chavez is probably the side there. I'm not high on Oban
Look at
at
that
all.
picture.
So
Look at that fucking picture.
whatever.
Tell me that they didn't shrink his face. God damn. Uh,
Bro, what
l-
is wrong with you?
Look at it.
What's that?
Rinya Nakamura will fight Muin Gafarov at UFC 311 January 18th.
I'm taking Nakamura.
Nakamura all day.
Easy pick. Easy pick right there.
Nothing gets Mike more excited than a Japanese wrestler. They
That's
call that
right.
the. Go ahead.
That that's actually the truest statement made in this space all night.
Yeah, he got some explaining to do.
Ah shit. What's
UFC
next,
Tampa,
Usman?
December 14th, gets a 145 banger when Cub Swanson fights Billy Quarantillo. It ain't gonna be
That is a
boring.
banger.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm sitting when you said that, I paused for a second. You think Cub can catch him with the overhand?
Uh, is Cub still taking TJ Dillashaw steroids?
I
That's
hope
gonna be a
so.
fun one. I have no clue. That's gonna be a sweat. Hopefully, you think they give us over 1.5?
No.
That's a tough one, man, because he could line up Billy Q with one of those big punches and easily put Billy down. It's just, does he still have that in him anymore? Can he still take the damage anymore? Because, man, this feels like one of those, like, could turn into a Cubs sponsoring classic barn burner. And I feel like that's what's going to happen in this one.
Yeah, I can't disagree. And I gotta say, if that happens, Cub loses. Cub ain't
Luke,
that no more.
he ain't got the cardio no more like that.
Nope. Nope. He doesn't wear it as well as he used to either. Let's just be honest. He looks beat up his last few fights. Remember the eye?
Yeah, he hasn't looked like he's taken damage the best that he's been.
Bro, when I met him, I think it was 2 years ago, his fucking eye was still swollen shut like 3 weeks after the fight, 2 weeks after the fight, or some shit. It was fucking insane. Um,
He probably
anyway,
just, he probably just slapped around a fan that was talking shit about him. Joe, you better be careful.
Cut was a nice guy. I liked him. He was laughing about his own eye. It was pretty funny. Um,
That seems to be
anyway,
their old age, though. BJ Penn got beat up a lot in his old age. Now we're seeing Bob go down the same path.
yeah, I mean, these guys got to realize you can't stay here. Everybody used to bag on Bellator and Scott Coker for taking all the old timers, but he used to let the old timers fight the old timers, and it didn't feel so fucking bad. You get what I mean?
Now we get to watch it in the UFC.
Yeah, but for the most part, we get to watch the old timers get beat the fuck up in the
The guy that
UFC.
got us Kimbo Slice and Dada 5000.
Man, I forgot about that fight.
Scott Coker is the GOAT. I don't give a fuck. He's the greatest promoter of all time.
Oh,
Dana White got to take a second row seat to Scott Coker.
okay. We're gonna play a little game of guess that matchup. UFC 311, January 18th. We're looking at a pair of heavyweights, and I will give you their tattoos. One of them has a tattoo of a polar bear on his chest. The other one has the large name of a woman named Josenina.
Well, I know one of them
So Spivak.
was, I don't know who the
The
other one
other
is.
one,
Is the other one Waldo
no, no,
Acosta?
no. The other one is the Brazilian Ninja Turtle himself, Gelton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that
Hey,
is a
you were
good fight.
thinking about a goat named
What?
Waldo. It's actually a goat named Gelton.
What round do you think that he chokes Spivak out in, Trace?
I'll take a shot on speed back there. We've
What's
seen that.
that?
So I'll take a shot on speed back there. I think Spivak might be able to hold his own for a little bit on the ground, and we've seen that Jailton just cannot take a shot. Jailton probably wins there, but it's not so far out, especially depending what the line is, that I wouldn't take a shot on Spivak, especially be at a decent dog money.
Listen here, Spivak's been boxing with Mike Tyson as his coach. He's gonna get in there. Or not Spivak. I'm sorry. Almeida. Almeida's been boxing with Mike Tyson as his coach, bro.
Well, I'll say always been on the edge of the fire. But
And plus, I think Almeida's striking is very underrated. I believe his dad was a
Yes, he
boxer
was.
too.
No, guys, I'm lying. I was making a joke because Francis Ngannou walked around on camera with Mike Tyson for 6 weeks and then got fucking knocked out cold. So I was I was I was just taking a poke there that no one got. Jelton Almeida is going to shoot 27 takedowns if he has to. He is not punching with Spivak, but I'm still taking Almeida.
Never doubt the Brazilian Ninja Turtle. January 11th, we've got Chris Curtis fighting Roman Kopylov.
ooh, I like Kopylov there.
Yeah, that's Kopylov all day.
Chris Curtis will pull out. Fight's not going down.
I hope so. I get to shit on Chris Curtis some more. So,
Yep, that's just what I'm doing right now.
I feel like Chris Curtis is the kind of guy that shows up.
who cares? We just don't want to talk good about him or talk about him.
Something's wrong with you, and you're a horrible host, Usman. You're a horrible fucking
So
host.
when I
What's
read
next?
this, like just looking at it, I was like, we got a fighter named Coronavirus? No, it's Cortavius Romeus. And he's fighting Gaston Bolaños at UFC Vegas 100 November 9th.
Sounds like it needs to be taking place in the Coliseum. This is like some Romanian boys, like the gladiator days.
If they don't put a big 100 in the background for Apex 100, they fucking flopped. That's all I'm saying. They need to make this a big ass event. Put on some extra. Bring in Bruce Buffer into the fucking Apex and shit. They need to do something right here. This
Hey,
needs to
hey,
be special.
just another little fun game. Do y'all know what Cortavius Romeus looks like?
Couldn't tell you.
Guess.
Waldo Acosta, but smaller.
Guess that race.
No,
He
he's
is
black.
black. I did not think Cortavius Romeus sounds like a black name. I thought that was.
Motherfucker, I just said he looks
Well,
like Waldo
obviously, you got it
Acosta.
damn near perfect. He does look like a mini Waldo, so I'm just going to ignore you because you're looking at the damn picture.
No, I'm not looking at the motherfucking picture. I know
I
what he
thought, I
looks
thought,
like. Bro, I can't wait till
I
we're on
thought
camera
Cortavius,
and
I
you can
thought
see my
Cortavius
screen.
Romeus was literally like some fucking Spaniard dude. I'm looking at this picture.
That's because you Mexicans are racist.
Not denying that. I will say I
Yeah, we
have
can't
always
deny
said
that.
Mexicans are the most racist, but we do it out of love. Let's go on to the next fight. Charlie Campbell, the cannibal, will be fighting Mauricio Rufy. The fighting nerd is back at UFC 309, November 16th.
Who's he fucking up? Serious
What
question. Who's he
what'd
fighting?
you say?
I said, who's Rufy fucking
Charlie
up?
Campbell.
Ooh, that's a bad.
Ooh, yeah, but you do not bet against the
Not right
fighting
now.
nerds.
Oh, I'm going over Rufy on that fight, but that's gonna be a fucking banger for as long as it lasts.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
I just feel
matchmaking
like
right there.
Charlie is going to run into something, right? And run into something very nasty.
It's because he leaves
Oh,
his
it's
chin
under
out
one
there.
and a half. That's gonna be a good one, man.
This fight with
Agree
Chris.
with Cade under 1.5.
Easy. I didn't hear anything Kate
Yeah,
said.
He
What
just
do you
said
think?
under
Oh,
one
okay.
and a half.
Um, Cody Durden is fighting Joshua Van at UFC 310 December 7th. That's fun.
Jordan.
You're on Durden? Is that what you said, Mike?
Yeah, of course. Come on, Durden is good. The bad thing is the third round is gonna be hell for Durden, but those first two
Well, I
rounds
hope he
all Durden.
wrestles early. Let's just lock those
That's
two
what I'm
I
rounds
think
saying. He's
in.
gonna wrestle.
I think Van can knock him out low key.
What you're saying is
Yeah, that's why we said the third round is gonna be hell for Durden, because he's gonna wrestle fuck him for 2 rounds. But that third round, man, Van is gonna turn it up.
yeah, but that's a third and fight in a nutshell, though. I mean, he wins most of the first 2 rounds and then survives the third, right?
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah,
Durden gets
but
cracked. He can get cracked. I mean,
Durden's striking is underrated too. That dude has impeccable timing, and he knows how to follow a game plan. He doesn't always strike the same.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think Durden is very dependable, but I guess lately he has been. He's looked real good lately. Didn't he just win one on super short notice?
yep.
Yeah, very
Who did
short
he beat? Because
notice.
it was a good ass fight.
Fuck, I'm struggling to remember. Here, let me type
No,
his name in real
come
quick.
on,
It'll come
fuck
right
nuts.
up.
We watch every single fight. Who did he just beat?
I know, bro, but I watch every single fucking fight for like.
Oh, it
Matt
was
Snell.
Matt Snell. That's not a notable
Is
victory, but
Matt Snell
okay.
Asian? Because I was thinking it was an Asian guy.
Yeah, he
No, he's not
dropped
a.
two in a row before that. Bruno Silva and Tajir.
But he was looking, but he was
That's what
looking
I
good in
thought.
that Bruno fight until Bruno landed the bomb.
Yeah, that damn, that was a hell of a bomb.
Bruno gonna Bruno, and he's gonna hit you real fucking hard in the face.
I think I'll be honest. I think a lot of people, which is fine, right? But I think they put a lot of stock into what happened to Josh Mann in that Charles Johnson fight. But I mean, he's super young. What is he like? 22, 23? I mean, he's got nasty boxing, man, and his body work is just so good, man. So I don't know. I don't like betting against him, honestly, man, because if the fight goes like you guys are saying into round three, um, he's probably winning the fight.
And that's a typical,
That's probably a
yeah, and
good
that's a
prop.
typical Josh Van fight. The first round is a little rocky. The second round he picks it up, and then the third round is when he starts putting it on you.
You bet Cody Durden round 3 knockout, boys.
No,
No.
Is Chepe in the same weight
no,
class
Chep
as
is
him?
145. This is 125.
45. Thank you, sir.
If you had to bet the yes no on Chepe as a world champion by the end of 2026, yes or
No,
No,
no?
I love
Not at
Chepe,
but
all.
but
I'll say
don't make
this:
me say that.
Chepe Chepe's fought at what 2 weight classes since he got in the UFC, right? Because I mean, isn't Peak a 55er?
Yes.
Yep.
Is he?
Yeah, Peak's a
Yeah,
55er.
and
He's
he
fought at
fought Peak at
45 and
55.
55.
We
Oh well,
talked about that.
55. That's because he came in. That was his debut. I think he's a
And I think
45er
that
now.
that one was short notice.
Yeah.
No, I like Chepe, man. I just don't know if he'll be a champion, but I like him. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a champion. I just wanted to, I don't know. I just decided to ask everybody. Usman, what's
That was the
next?
last one, unless we really want to talk about Junior Tafa versus Sheen Sharaf. I posted that.
You closed
No,
with
I
that?
opened it. That's just the most recent thing.
Wait,
Also, I just wanted to post or bring up. Look at Sheen Sharaf's picture in this post. It looks like it's his mugshot for selling weed to minors or something.
hey, I feel like
Listen,
I want to say this real quick.
go
I want to
ahead,
say
go
this. I
ahead,
feel
Tim.
like this might have been last week, but did you guys bring up that Reed Sheet fight with I can't even say her last name, dude. Zanan or whatever.
Yeah, last week we talked about it.
How do you just real quick? You don't have to go into it, but like, how do you see that fight going?
I think we split it down the middle, and everybody argued about
Oh,
reaching.
okay. All right.
I saved the biggest story for to close the show. This is it. Fight announcements are over. We broke down the whole card. We've been in this space for 27 days since we started. Seems like we've been here 14 hours and a half already. But it's all going to be worth it for this moment right here. Tyron Woodley says he's returning to MMA, guys. He says this is it. He says he's refocusing. He says that he's working on a comeback, and he never really left. He wants us to know he never really left, and he never even really thought of himself as retired from fighting. And those boxing losses don't even mean shit. That was just him working on them skills, and they don't got to be as good in MMA. And that's it. He's coming back. He doesn't have a promotion to fight with yet, and he don't have a date, and he don't have an opponent, and he don't have a promotion, but he's coming back. I'm happy to see Tyron
Is
Woodley
he
on his
still
way
signed
back.
to the UFC?
No, I don't think so. Cade, go ahead, bud.
Yeah.
He should link up
I was.
with Kevin.
Wait, what did you say, Trace?
So he should link up with Kevin Lee and get a fight together.
No, Kevin Lee's
Oh,
got
bare
to fight.
knuckle. Yeah.
No, he's fighting in Charles Johnson's promotion, Icon Combat.
I thought he was
or whatever
fighting for
it's
bare
called.
knuckle.
No, he's fighting and he's booked to fight in Charles Johnson's promotion for the debut card, and he is fighting Philip Rowe. Philip Rowe.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because Phil Rowe got cut.
Yeah, I think it's Philip Rowe and Kevin Lee are fighting. I'm pretty sure. But the card says it's going to be combat, power slap, pillow fighting, and 100-man power lift or some 100-man strength competition. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing on the card. But yeah, he's gonna do something on that
we've
card.
already
He's
we've already seen that fucking Kevin Lee comeback story once, and it didn't work out very well for him last time.
Kevin Lee is fighting on Icon, promoted by Charles Johnson, where they have pillows. Jesus Christ. Hey, Google, play The Mighty Fall by Fall Out Boy.
hey, anyways, Joe, I wanted to say this to your point real quick, bro. So Tyron Woodley, it's funny you say that. So this was probably about a month or two ago. I don't know, roughly. He went on my boy's podcast. His name's Michael Wolf. And they're friends or whatever. And he was talking about how, man, when I beat Carlos Conde and I beat Tyron Woodley and I beat Darren Till, I beat all the savages in the division. And then I lose to Gilbert and I lose to Kamaru and I lose to Colby. I lose to all the goofies. And when I lost to Jake Paul, I wasn't focused and yeah, he spit that shit. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, I don't I think Darren Till is more of a goofy than like Gilbert Burns or Kamaru Usman or Colby, but I mean, okay. Whatever. I just feel like sometimes these guys, man, when they get bored, they just talk bullshit. Whatever sounds good.
Tyron's completely delusional. He thinks he's one of the greatest fighters to ever fight in UFC. He really thinks he is in the GOAT conversation at 170. Before we cut this out, Trace, I seen your hand was up if you want to get one in. And Danny, I seen you grab the mic. I don't know if there was something you want to talk about, and then we're going to cut out of here. Trace, you got anything?
Oh, I was just going to say that we're about to see Kevin Lee be the first time 100-man champion, pillow fighting champion, slap champion. Uh, welterweight champion all in one night. Dude's about to do it all. The goat.
And then they will regret not bringing him back to the Dana White Contender Series, where he could have really made the highest rating the shows has ever seen.
Oh yeah, as soon as he puts that on his resume, the UFC is actually going to cut the pay offer they're going to give him.
They're going to be like, we know what Charles makes because we pay him. He ain't got no money. What do you want, man? $50? Come on, come fight for $50, Kevin. Like, maybe I'm not dogging Charles.
He don't give out 50K. He gives out 50 J's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that can't be a huge upgrade. But hey, I hope Kevin gets it all back, man. I don't have no ill will towards the guy. Sometimes I just see these falls, and sometimes I wish they would just stop, and sometimes I wish they would just leave until you're too old to try to come back, and then just come back and be around, and people will accept you. But man, this whole I gotta keep fighting thing, man. Like I don't want to see it, and it's not because I don't like Kevin. Like, bro, you're not winning, and the people you are beating, it's not like we're all like, oh my God, he's beating world beaters. I know he's a fighter. I don't have no say in his life. I guess go humble down, go get in a regional promotion and start getting W's. Just bite down on a mouthpiece and go start getting fucking W's. When you've got 6 or 7 of them in a row, then let's see you again. Because we will. And then you can shut us all up. But quit fucking getting head tattoos and talking about how you're a warrior and how it's a mindset. Just fucking shut up with all that shit and go fight somebody if you're gonna fight. I don't got no ill will towards him. I just feel like Kevin has talked about it a lot since he's seen success. Danny, you grabbed a mic. Did you want to get anything off before we get out of
Yeah,
here?
very quickly. You took the words out my mouth, which is why I grabbed that speaker and I was laughing so many emojis on T-word. Like, seriously, Delulu is what I was going to say, Joe. You said delusional. I'm saying Delulu. I just think that there's something with fighters that when they've reached that point in the career where everything's on the downward trajectory, they struggle to transition back into what would a normal life be. I mean, we see that all the time. The comparison I just wanted to draw is like, Amanda, what the fuck was that little dance video clip that she, put out after Pena, arguably, won the title? Like, when you retire, do you retire? And do fighters need more support to transition back into a normal world? I know it sounds really weird, but you do see some crazy shit out there. They retire and then they're like, oh no, I'm going to come back. I'm the best and best I've ever been. Well, you're not. And it's sad. It is a little bit sad, and I wonder if they need a bit of help. So just want to add that.
Most cases, I agree with you. And fighters have to start looking at the real numbers. The numbers are 90% of fighters retire on a loss. So you don't have to keep trying for that win. I will comment on what you said about Amanda Nunes because I think she's the exception. Did you see that
I did.
video?
She looks
She's in
fit.
shape.
Yeah.
She looks like she's been out of the drug testing pool for at least since she retired,
She's in
right?
shape.
Like, she looks
And
big
I
as fuck.
promise
How much?
she's gonna beat the. She could fight Juliana and Kayla Harrison in the same night, and they'd both get fucked up.
I fucking love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
I got to agree with you. TRT Amanda Nunes is crazy, like
Like
crazy.
honestly, I love that she did it in just the bra and the short shorts because I saw them abs and I just said, yeah, I want to give her some fucking punches right there to the gut. This bitch is built right now. She's yoked the fuck up. Let's go, Amanda.
Yeah, I want
Bro,
to see that Kayla Harrison fight, and I know a lot of people probably would say, "Nah, I'm not interested in that because I know it happened." No, I want to see that because I want to see if 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 Ali and Kayla can put their money where their mouth is about all this talk about Amanda. Like, let's do it. Let's see it. Let's settle it. I'd love it.
listen, I can tell you this honestly and wholeheartedly. If they fight at 145, I am putting a couple $100 on Amanda Nunes first round. She is gonna beat the shit out of
Joe, I
Kayla
know you're
Harrison.
not like a guy that puts
I
a
don't
bunch of
bet a
fucking
couple
money on
$100
bets,
on
but like, bro,
fights.
you'd probably be safe putting. You could probably put as much as you want on that. I guarantee that's happening.
bro. Like, listen, everybody. So I'm not. Everybody kind of starts giggling when I say this. Everybody kind of starts giggling. Listen, I'm not. I don't condemn what Guru did. I'm not taking no shots at nobody, man. Have you really looked at Kayla Harrison's nose? How big it is? Have you looked at the bridge? Have you looked at her in face-offs? Because that's when you can really see it. Go look up her face-off pictures. Just Google Kayla Harrison fight face-off.
But what am I looking for exactly? Like what is it?
How large her nose is.
Yeah, but like is that due to something or
No.
that
Where I'm
giant
going
target
is
is what he's trying to say.
Amanda Nunes is gonna break it. Amanda Nunes hits like a man. She hits square.
yes.
You can't tell me she doesn't.
Because Joe,
You can't tell me she doesn't throw the nose punch. She fucking ended Ronda
yes,
Rousey.
bro, and I
punching
was
her
just
in the
about to tell you
nose.
that. That's literally you just took the words out of my mouth. Like this fight just reminds me of that Ronda fight. Like Kayla is like right now's version of Ronda minus maybe the armbar. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but like the fight with Amanda reminds me of the fight with Ronda.
It's gonna be bad in my opinion. Like I will probably place the under 0.5 rounds Amanda Nunes KO bet. Like I will fucking, as much as I hammer a bet, I don't bet like some of you guys. I got no issue saying that. Not that I'm proud or that I'm ashamed. Just hey, it is what it is. I will have what I consider good money on Amanda Nunes, and I will have good money on her knockout, and I will have good money on her fucking first round. Yeah, no way I would miss that opportunity. No way. Usman.
Like I love Juliana Pena, but Amanda Nunes has given us the greatest moments in WMMA, in my opinion. The freaking knockout on Ronda, the head kick on freaking Holly, the beat down on freaking on Cyborg. Like she has made me extremely happy watching her fight. Fucking knocking down Benya so much that it looked like a damn Looney Tunes fucking fight. Like, I want to see her come. Like, when I saw that video, it was fucking Christmas morning. I need her back. I need her back, and I need her to do some more goofy shit. Knock my girl Benya out of the damn ring this time, and then just crush Kayla's face.
Bro, you cannot hate Amanda
I
Nunes.
love her.
Like
Love Amanda.
she has done some incredible fucking things in the sport. And like I would greatly she's an exception. She can come back.
Amanda Nunes has a true and honest and sincere career of killing giants. No one really talks about it that way. Uh, she didn't go undefeated, which for whatever reason kind of stains some stuff, I guess. But and I know she lost to like Zingano inside the UFC, but she hit a point where the resume becomes Shevchenko, Tate, Rousey, Shevchenko, Pennington, Cyborg, Holm, GDR, Spencer, Anderson, drops the El de Pena, dominates Pena, Irene Aldana, sails off into the sunset. A career of killing giants. There is like no one at 135 that you could say is in the GOAT conversation that Amanda hasn't fucking destroyed. Yeah, I'm with Usman. I'm so excited for it. I want her to hit Kayla Harrison the way she hit Cyborg. I want her to look that big, that fast, that strong. I want her to throw those overhands. I want her to beat the shit out of her. And it's nothing against Kayla Harrison. It's nothing against her. I just want that. I fucking love Amanda Nunes. And I just want that. So I pray wholeheartedly the UFC says, yeah, 135 is hard for Kayla. She was pissing blood a week before the fight. We're going to do Amanda and Kayla. 145, skip 135. Nothing against Juliana. I want to see Amanda and Kayla. I have not wanted to see it at all. I have not given a shit about that fight for 3 years. People have been talking about it, but now I want it more than I can explain to people. Man, I couldn't tell you if I want to see that. I could not tell you right now if I would pick that. If I could pick one, I think I would take Amanda versus Kayla over John versus AP. That's how bad I want to see it. And man, I want to see John versus AP fucking bad. So fingers crossed. Let's hope that it goes down. That's all I got. Co-host here, Mike. We don't have enough co-host spots. Mike is also a part of this, and Dead Picks is a huge part of our team. He keeps us live on YouTube, and when we switch over to video broadcast within the next few weeks here, he will be probably the heartbeat of the show because he will be doing camera angles, adding us, taking us on screen, off screen. Dead Picks will probably be that guy soon. So shout out to him. If any of the co-hosts got anything to get off, throw your hand up. Otherwise, I'm just going to close it out. Thank you, Danny, for hopping on the mic. You don't get in here much. All the regular listeners that hopped in, Ozzy, we appreciate you getting in here. You guys went on Thursday here, and sometimes you go on Friday here last week. You guys fucked me up with your schedule sometime, but I would have been there for your space. Danny and Ozzy do a good space. Mike's got a cool website, but he doesn't want to bet no more. He says he retires or something, but you should still check it out. Allinforbettertimes.com, and then tag Mike and tell him, Mike, we need more write-ups or something. Just give him hell about it because I don't know why. Shout out to the other two co-hosts, Trace and Usman. I appreciate you guys, and I look very forward to getting this all over on video. I've been doing things makeshift for a few weeks, and